PCS podcast.
Thank you.
We're doing a cryptocurrency thing today. Phil, what's your experience with cryptocurrency?
I don't know, what the fuck is that?
Cryptocurrency, you know, like
pretty new.
Bitcoin shit.
Really into it, but really new, I would say.
How long have you been investing for?
Less than 2 months.
And are you trading it around or investing?
Well, I probably should just be investing, but I like to think I can make money sometimes.
Yeah. You got your ideas of what's good and whatnot.
Yeah. And like trading feels productive and stuff. So
yeah, no, you're like, so are there any hot trades that you've made so far that have been really profitable?
Well, yesterday I sold all my Bitcoin and then it dropped like 1,000 after that. So that was pretty legit.
Oh, good. Yeah. We're in a crashing market right now. So did you sell to Tether or what did you do?
Basically I just used a stable coin. And I actually did it like right about where it bottomed out. So I dollar cost averaged out and then I dollar cost averaged in, and it really didn't make any difference overall.
Yeah, it's been like you had to have sold at like 60 or so.
Yeah. Like I guess maybe in the future, if I like saw this again, I might like just in case like put it onto a stable coin and then see what happens. I was just like jump back in. But by the time I did it, it was like too late and it was bottomed out. But it was possible it kept going, really.
Yeah, my it's not looking like terrible. So where I'm at is, let's see. So it's gone up a little since earlier. Or no, it's about the same since earlier. So I'm still 21% up. It was like down 13%. It was 13% up yesterday. And today it was about 21% up. So it's not looking terrible, but it
was up 21%. Holy shit. What's up 21%?
Just my overall portfolio.
Oh, okay. That's actually awesome.
Yeah.
How? What do you have?
A lot of it's the Dogecoin. The Dogecoin.
Okay, what if you take that off? Like, then where are you?
What's that?
What if you take Doge off? What's it looking like?
Man, I'm not sure because that changes everything. Changes all the calculations.
I think that's more like...
Okay, wait, let's see. If Doge was the same, let's see. If Dogecoin was, what was it, 0.08?
Something like that, yeah, for a while.
Then I would still be up by a little bit. I'd be...
Can you take Doge off entirely? Like just for the sake of conversation? Just to see.
Well, I mean, I can make it go down to like 1 cent.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, just see like without it where you're at.
So if it was down to 1 cent, I'd be down. So I'd be down about, what is that?
I'm down like over, like at this point, it's been getting pretty bad.
I'd be down just about 5%.
That's like really good considering. Yeah, I would say you're weathering it pretty well if that's the case.
Definitely. No, I'm like, I'm fairly happy with the diversification. What's gone up a lot since I bought in is Ripple. And I think Cardano's gone up it kind of came back down a bit today.
Yeah, though. It's like almost down to where I bought it, which is
yeah, me too.
I got Bitcoin at a good price, but I got a number of these altcoins like at a peak and they've been kind of trading sideways or like not moving since then.
My DigiByte
like approaching like the same price I got them at 2 months ago, which is not very fun.
Just from looking right now, it looks like DigiByte has gone up because I think when I originally bought in, it was probably about half as much as it is now.
That's what's crazy if you really look at like it's hard to find the ones that fail is the thing. So this isn't like an accurate statistic, but if you look at just like every coin's growth over like 6 months or whatever, like it's been insane for every single one that you could buy.
Yeah, no, that's like 2 months ago, I kind of started looking at the graphs and stuff, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, if I get any one of these, like, I guess that's what a crypto bull market's all about. Like, you could get a lot of stuff and it'll pretty much just go up.
Like, if you get in at the right time, yeah. But if you look at like my case, like they're not quite there, but like some prices are approaching like right where I got them 2 months ago. So it's hard to say, because I always want to say like, oh, it's too late because the value went up, but then you would just never buy anything in this because like they would all just in a month be like more than you want to pay for them. So
yeah, that's like that. It's like a mind fuck a little, especially with like something like Dogecoin, because you could have thought you missed out at 8 cents, but then you would have had like a 300% increase in a like really fast time. I guess it would have went right back down though, but
I literally bought it at 9 cents, and the next day, less than 24 hours later, I sold it at 38 cents. And like, I bought it at 9 as a joke. I was like, fuck, dude, just in case, I'm going to buy it. And then the next day, I sold it immediately, except for like $5 that I left on there, which was a good call. Because actually, like 38 was right near the top even later when it pumped.
yeah. I think I sold a good amount at around 40 cents. And I sold on the way up too. So honestly, if I just held on to all that, like I would have had crazy gains. It would have been like,
you wouldn't have sold it at 40, and then it would have crashed, and you would have gotten nothing.
Probably. Like, well, actually, it's still a good gain. If I just held everything, it's still a solid like ass gain.
Well, it did like stop at like 24 or something, which is pretty crazy. But I think it might still just like wither away like it normally does.
I remember it was just a dream to get it like to a quarter not too long ago. I was like, oh my God, a quarter? That's crazy. And now we're like, oh my God, it's a quarter again.
Yeah, that's what I realized. I was like, oh, it crashed so hard, but like, wait a second, actually, like it's sitting at 25 cents. That's pretty solid, actually.
But now
I'm going to keep my $5 of it, and that's all I need to like feel okay if it does go up. But
yeah,
I feel
that's
pretty
fair, man. Doge is like a wild beast.
Yeah, my friend Tony was like, he literally like he silently had $10,000 on Doge at like a penny, and he like went up. He was up over like $40,000, and he like would not sell any. So he's still way up. That's the thing is like, he's like, dude, why would I care? Like, oh, I'm fucking rich, but it's like don't do this. Like, he was way too into it. He's like, why would I sell it? Like, look how much money I've made. And now it's like half of what it was at that point when I was telling him to sell some of it.
Yeah. I think it's fair to just like take a little bit off, and then, I mean, kind of just, it's such a gamble, but I don't know. Like, I can kind of, empathize with both sides, you know, like I empathize with the hold and just like wishing for that dollar, you know, because at the end of the day, that's kind of the goal of Dogecoin, was to reach $1.
Yeah, but that's why you take like small profits like you did on the way up. So like when it does crash, if you aren't a genius like you're not, and like you're not able to time it at the top, then you don't like cry about missing the opportunity. Like right now, a bunch of the coins that are crashing that like did well, like if I look, I like made my money back on those coins. So at that point, I don't care. That's like my number one goal is like, if you can get your investment back, like fucking leave it. Who cares? You know, like maybe it'll go crazy. And
and that's kind of my case with Dogecoin. I've been selling it just constantly, and it just keeps growing and growing. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to leave it, stop selling it. And
that's how you stop making money.
What's that?
No, that's how you stop making money.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But like
there's a notion for that. But I firmly believe in taking profits safely, just because of exactly what's happening here. You can feel a lot better about your shit crashing horribly, like when you took profits. If I didn't take any profits for the last 2 months and this happened, I would like be debating getting out of crypto.
Yeah.
Because I would like suddenly be like losing money, whereas I'm losing like money that I made sort of in a way now. if that makes sense.
So are you able to keep track of things as like when you trade, like, are you able to keep track of your gains and whatnot?
There's like a record on most of the exchanges if you like look at the currency specifically. So I kind of just look at those, and it's like I should be a lot more organized, to be honest, about that kind of thing. I don't have like a meta portfolio with like everything on one, but they're not too scattered. It's like across 3 apps.
For sure. So, okay. So what's like your top coins, or like, are you holding any coins right now? Any crypto?
Yeah, no, I like rebought like with all of it. So
okay.
I redistributed my portfolio quite a bit, and like less diverse and like stupid.
Less random like altcoins.
Yeah, and like there were a lot of things when you start reading, it's like every single one you read, you're like, that's a really good idea. That sounds awesome. Like I think I should get that one. That sounds like a good company.
Yeah, I feel like that a lot. Except like, for what's that one that's coming up now? Like a lot of people are talking it up. Safe Moon.
Safe Moon. Yeah, I can't believe it's actually mooning. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I don't. That one doesn't sound good when you hear about it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Safe Moon.
No, yeah. I haven't read the description. I was kind of hoping it says like, you should put your money on this one. It's definitely a safe investment. Safe Moon.
Yeah, it's a safe moon.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
The goal of this coin is to get a very, very high value.
Yeah.
It relies on like it's an open source, like all users have to buy it.
Just buy and hold it.
Yeah. The more people that buy it, the more value it can have. Buy some.
So what coins are so in my portfolio, let's see, I'm mainly Bitcoin, Dogecoin. And Dogecoin, it wasn't out of choice. Dogecoin chose to do that by itself. It kind of like it wasn't the most, but it is the most stake in my portfolio. Just ahead of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it just doesn't help like you in terms of like analyzing it to like include it.
I mean, the thing is, it's still performed well to the extent that it hasn't gone like it's not hurting me. It's only helped my portfolio.
No, it's like buffering your portfolio. That's what I'm saying.
It really, yeah, it really is.
At any point in the moon, like really hard, I feel like taking it off when you're analyzing your portfolio is smart because it's gonna like throw off all of your numbers pretty well.
Maybe, but I like seeing those high numbers. You know.
Why would you make it go down?
Yeah. So then there's Ethereum and Ripple. Those are my next largest stakes. And then I got Filecoin, Binance, Cardano, Uniswap, Yearn Finance, and Polkadot as like the next highest. And I got some Tezos, Cosmos, Stellar Lumens, Bitcoin Cash, Daps Coin, just a random ass one, Digibyte, Grossel Coin, Dash, Litecoin as like the next level down.
Dash is one I should have that I don't know like when I sold it, but I planned to buy back in and I didn't, and I keep fucking forgetting.
Yeah, Dash is an interesting one. Like it had another name that was like dark cryptocurrency or something, like dark coin or some shit, and then they made it like more friendly, so they called it Dash. But
it's like when they changed it to like Web 3.0 instead of the dark web.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Have you been on like Web 3.0, like on MetaMask or anything?
No, Web 3.0?
Yeah. It's like an internet that's like not the internet, but it's still the internet.
The dark web?
No, it's like wide open now. Like my Google Pixel phone says like scan dark web viruses. It's like it's like not the dark web anymore. It's just like Web 3.0.
Oh, okay. No, I've never done that.
Like it's kind of like crypto, like it's been embraced and it's not like for illicit activities primarily anymore.
Yeah. You use MetaMask to get on it?
There are certain dApps that you can only do on Web 3.0, like some of the swaps and things.
Gotcha.
So, Brave browser is, I think Google Chrome honestly can do it, maybe, but MetaMask has the wallet and the browser.
So I know MetaMask is like for Chrome, and then I've heard of the Brave browser that you like get crypto from like browsing on it.
Yeah, I don't even know what the Brave browser is, but I keep seeing ads. But But yeah, it doesn't really matter. But my phone, you have to open like MetaMask and use the browser, and Chrome doesn't seem to like do it. But I might be able to like change that out.
So Dash fell a good amount. It looks like it, has some sort of bottoming out thing going on. Who knows?
They all keep looking like that, and it's like every day I'm like, God damn it, dude, is this really continuing? Like, if I really my coins, I'm like, that is fucking at half of what it was. God damn it. Like, but then I look actually, so this is a good example. Then I like look at the details of the coin and I see that like, oh, like throughout a good pump, I made my money back on the coin. So I feel okay all of a sudden.
So it says Dash.
If I get 20%, I take it. So like basically like I keep the same principal at all times. And then like you don't realize all the money you made because it seems like it's like staying around the same price, but you're just like taking that 20% like every time it goes up. So that's why I'm like I'm not actually very in touch with how much I've made overall because it's like small amounts repeatedly. But it works. It's definitely like very steady and safe growth. That's why I'm doing it.
Even in the crash?
No, like nothing goes up 20% in the crash, but actually like the first couple of days Nano was swinging opposite of the crash. That was cool. That's what I want to do next is like the coins that are counter swinging, because there are like a few that seem to do it, and that would be the best way to like diversify is to have things that when most of them crash. I
feel that it's never consistent though.
It's not. But be a handful. Like Nano, I've seen a lot of times like weather like a dip in the market, or like what it did this time, which I've seen the most. It's like it'll go up like the first couple days of a crash or the first like part of a market correction, and then like it delayed, it'll do the same thing. But it's nice to like have those if you're aware of them. If like I could like actually figure out if there's any consistency, because you could definitely hedge your bets for like market swings. Like I think Neo did the same thing. Maybe like the first couple of days of this, it went up and it did well actually, and then it like caught up and it crashed like down to where everything was. And I don't know if that's like consistent, but Nano has like consistently done that for me.
Yeah, it's like they're doing a little like starting like they're starting to rev their engines up maybe.
it might, yeah, or it might be like some reason that a lot of people are like converting to that when there's like price reductions. I don't know like the answer, but that would make sense, right? Like Tether goes up in value when the market crashes, everyone's like putting their shit on Tether.
Yeah, that's one thing I consistently see is when there is a market crash, Tether starts moving up in the coin market cap.
Yeah, and it'll like if you see Tether go up in value, it means like a massive amount was put on Tether because Tether's designed not to change in price, and it's like pretty good at it. So like it went up by like 0.03% or something, or 0.03 or something this time, which is insane.
Yeah,
that was actually how you know that people are selling. Like that was a good tip that I just learned. It's like if Tether does that right when the market dips, like there's a sell off going, because that's basically what people are doing.
And you could see the volume as well, which is a good indicator of the movement. Yeah. And it's a lot. I mean, what number is that? That's billion, 149 billion.
Yeah. I mean, if you're on like a platform without fees, there's really no reason if you're paying attention and you're able to keep watching, like not to put it onto Tether or something when you see like this, like some activity downwards, you know? Because like worst case scenario, like you do that and you see it swing back up and like buy back in. And even if it's like slightly higher, you might like avoid a massive crash, you know, which is very valuable. That's why I really like dollar cost averaging. Actually, I've not done it enough, but it's like blatantly effective when you do it.
Yeah, no, I find like kind of like I'm like hybrid dollar cost averaging. I'm kind of like whenever it like I'm kind of like buying the dips a little bit, but then
that's what I've been trying to do. Actually, I've tried both. It seems to not matter like which is what they say. Like if you do set any like a time interval, like it does seem to actually average out. Like when I did it with Bitcoin, actually, so I just sold every like 10 minutes, basically, I sold 0.005 Bitcoin until it was gone. And then I did that to buy back in. Also, I just did the same thing. looked like I lost money, but at the end it was like exactly the same actually, even though like the price of Bitcoin had swung like in different directions throughout. It was
every 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was like trying to do it quickly, but I didn't know what Bitcoin, so it was like rapid dollar cost averaging.
Oh wow, yeah, that sounds like pretty fast. Like sometimes it'll be like days or something, or weeks.
Yeah. But basically I was like, first of all, trying to avoid just like panic selling my whole stack, and second of all, like obviously there's a bad record with everyone of like when you do that the price turns and goes up, so it was more like I know if I sell all of this, that price is going to go upwards and I'm never going to get it at this price again.
So what coins are you heavy on right now?
So I have a ton of Band. I bought a lot of Band. I bought Band at like 20 or 19 and I was like stoked. And then it went down to like 14 something and I got a fair amount more. So I have like a fair amount of Band.
Yeah, it's at 15 now.
Yeah, that's like I'm not an expert obviously, but I believe it was already undervalued at what it was and it was like ready to pump. And it didn't actually do it before this market correction. So I'm pretty bullish on Band.
Yeah, me too.
The correction it should, and most of the higher or mid cap coins have, and it really hasn't. And it's had big news and shit, like it should have.
Yeah, there's people getting involved in Band right now.
Google Cloud just backed them, which is like I consider that pretty significant.
That's pretty huge. Yeah.
That I heard when I saw that, I was like much more confident about Band. That's when I kind of bought more.
Yeah, so Google Cloud integrates Band protocol for real-time crypto price data.
It's crazy awesome. And it like involves Chainlink. So Chainlink and Band basically like partnered, I believe, and got Google Cloud. So that's why like I'm bullish on both of those. I don't have as much Chainlink because it's like one of those things where you think it's more expensive because the price is higher.
Yeah, it's shot up a lot since a year ago or whatever.
Yeah, and Band like really like I've seen it set a lot, and it looks like it to be it should have like a dramatic price increase, and I think it was like on the cusp, and then fucking damn ruined.
Yeah, no, it had a serious like that. That graph went down.
Yeah, which is kind of like awesome considering it was about to do that in the other direction. So I'm hopeful that it bounces back and then some.
Yeah, this that's one thing about the crypto market is that it's just kind of crazy, and so I personally like don't know how to time it, so I think it's interesting to compare how trading it is doing versus just not even trying to trade.
Yeah. Well, I can't give you like much comparison because I'm really just to the point where like I understand responsible trades even. Like most of it, and I was like trading understanding it might be stupid, and I did learn a lot. And like now I'm feeling like when I sold that Bitcoin, actually, it was like didn't cost me anything, and if it did keep going down, it was going to be beneficial. So that's like a smart trade in my opinion, even though like it's not ideal. But initially, I would like do something like that and end up down whatever, and be like, what the fuck, that didn't work.
Yeah, usually when I trade things, I go a little down, but on Hotbit, actually, sometimes like I can manage to trade like a couple dollars up, which is kind of cool. So that's pretty dope.
I mean, people that are good like at scalp trading is what it's called. They make a shitload of money taking advantage of those small price swings, like just like successively throughout a day.
That's pretty crazy, man.
Like the most predictable is really like if you watch any price of any cryptocurrency, like it's going up and down in small amounts constantly. So
I bet there's a lot of full timers now because of the coronavirus and stuff, and they just like were stuck at home and they're just getting into cryptocurrency and trading and stuff. Yeah,
that's why like in a really sick way, I'm kind of like glad everything like didn't just like totally get resolved and there's still some pandemic scare because like
yeah,
I want people to start like socializing and shit,
and the crypto market, no. But yeah, I'm with you on Chainlink and Band. Those are my like medium stake ones.
Those are I'm kind of like counting on Band. Like I hope Band is the one that was worth like because it's like a third of like my higher amount.
Oh wow! Okay, you're going heavy on Band.
banned in Bitcoin. Like honestly, they're almost
Yeah.
and
For me,
Ethereum.
Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's like 22%. Ethereum's about 9%.
Yeah, I mean, like once again, and I've like kind of known this the whole time, even just intuitively, like Ethereum should be outperforming Bitcoin massively because it's like not at a price point that Bitcoin is. So it's going to do like maybe similar to what Bitcoin did when it was that price, but even more probably.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean, like when Bitcoin was like that lower value, it was really volatile. And like you would, like that's when people made like insane gains. Like it would double like rapidly. And now that the whole point of when it gets a higher value is it's more stable. So that's like a good thing. But
Totally.
you're not going to see like Bitcoin double in a week right now, you know. But that's why people are actually investing in it. So give and take. But I think Ethereum will like explode like that, honestly. Like it's kind of been doing that actually.
Well, let's see. Like, is the price the same at the same market cap? So what was the price of Bitcoin when
I don't know, their supply is different. So
right. Wait, what is the supply?
But I think Ethereum just did flip Bitcoin like in this crash because Ethereum hit an all-time high like right when all hell was breaking loose. Also, like mind you.
So there's about 5 times as much Ethereum as Bitcoin. So that would lend to the lower price. So what if you calculated for that?
I think it's hard to compare them because Ethereum has a lot of like use case. So like the trading volume especially will be like obviously much higher because like you use it just to
that means if you equalize the number of coins, Ethereum's worth a lot less than a single Bitcoin. So that's kind of showing there's a lot of room for growth for Ethereum.
Yeah. I mean, but like I think I feel like they're becoming very different things. Like it's not even possible to compare them.
Yeah.
Like cryptocurrencies in general and like Ethereum and then Bitcoin are two separate things kind of, and they're like, I feel like
Bitcoin's more of a store of value and Ethereum is more like smart money.
And it's like it's like venture capitalism really is what it is. Like Bitcoin is not a startup company essentially that you're deciding is a good idea. That's like what the other cryptocurrencies really are.
Right.
They might be like developed, maybe not a startup, but they're like essentially like a funded company that's relatively new that is gaining momentum.
There are a few coins that are unknown teams, though, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's just like open source.
Yeah. Yeah, or there is no team. I've noticed that those have, like, none of those have panned out that I've watched in the limited time.
Yeah, I don't think I've... those are mostly just random, I think.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things, like, it sounds nice to be decentralized, but, like, what are you going to do when, like, something goes wrong, you know? Like oh, shit, Bitcoin went down. What do we do, guys? Where's Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's why you have to have a, like super solid system.
Yeah, like submit a ticket to Bitcoin, no. No, I mean, that's
get back to you and never.
Yeah, I don't have the understanding to know what it would take for like the system to go down. I really don't, but I assume that's possible. Like I wonder.
So I mean, the internet would have to go down and like
pretty much, right?
Everywhere. And the thing is, like, you're still gonna have nodes doing its own thing, making its own blocks, and so you'll probably
I don't know.
You can have different forks of the network, and if they rejoin, then they're just gonna go to the longest block, and then it's just gonna trash all those past transactions, or it's just gonna fork. It's just gonna make it fork, maybe.
Well, so what happens to like a mining machine if you like cut the internet? What does it do?
What?
What does like a mining computer do if you just like cut the network off?
For that mining computer,
mining computer do like if you cut the internet connection, like you can't keep mining, right?
I don't think it would do anything because it doesn't know anything. It's not getting any inputs. It's just like, what do you want me to do?
So inherently, like we're totally reliant still on the internet existing on the power grid.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's hard to take out entire power grids. Like there's a lot of ways to power the power grid. And
yeah, that's true.
like you'd have to hack everything at once and maybe have some like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you like physically destroyed like PG&E plants, you would get a lot of people, but there's like enough for some people to figure it out.
And I feel like these private companies are private generators, and a lot of these servers probably have like, you know, backup generators and stuff like that in case power.
As long as you have gas, you have electricity.
Huh?
As long as you have gasoline, you do have like generators for sure.
Yeah.
Gasoline's gonna go pretty quick if like the grid goes down though.
Yeah.
In fact, it's probably not worth your time to go wait all day at the gas station as opposed to like other necessities.
Yeah, hopefully they keep the internet up.
Selling your Bitcoin as fast as possible.
Can order stuff off Amazon.
There's something that's barterable. Like gold.
So do you think if there was a world crisis, Bitcoin would be relevant, or do you think like internet could go out and it would be irrelevant?
I think every world crisis will negatively affect Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, in relevancy, like say there's a war of some sort, and then I don't know.
One thing that doesn't negatively affect it.
Say the dollar. No, I don't know.
So you know what would happen? I'm not like an economist, but like probably when the bad world event occurred, like a massive amount of Bitcoin suddenly be converted. Yeah, I would assume. But also like there's a concern will also fail. So I'm not sure.
Wait, I can't really hear you. You're breaking up a little bit. The wind's a bit louder now.
Yeah, it's a bit windier too. No, I was saying like my first instinct would be like if there was like rumor like, oh my god, like China just like fired the missile or whatever, like my first instinct would be like give real money for your Bitcoin, but that might be like the wrong direction. And some people would say the opposite, is that fiat could fail you in this situation, you know? So, yeah. In a war, especially, I wonder like you would probably see most people would panic and like want fiat because it's like you could argue it's safer. But
all fiat's value is the faith in the US, US dollar.
Yeah, but like at this point, it's like a global faith in the US dollar.
Yeah, it's like a global currency.
Yeah, like if I wasn't on the US dollar, I might think differently about this. Actually, seriously.
So, how long do you think the dollar is going to be dominant? Because of course there's going to be an end, but when will that end be?
China like really is. If we don't do something to get involved, like China could overtake it. I think relatively quickly.
Yeah.
That will affect anything in like your world and mine, but I think that could occur. Except Bitcoin will get higher in value, so like really, it's probably a good thing. It's not a patriotic asset, that's for sure.
Well, I don't know. So the FBI is like the largest stakeholder in Bitcoin, and from what I've seen from the American government, they seem kind of like semi-embracing of it, because it actually you could catch a lot of fraud by just tracking the Bitcoin.
Yeah, I wonder if they've been like already doing that, because they wouldn't say it if they were before, you know. But I also wonder if they're old-fashioned and they were like realized what it was and we're like, holy shit, this is awesome, like we love blockchain.
yeah
Have a record of everything, like everything. Like even that one thing that like Georgia media don't really everything.
On Facebook today, people were posting like their Bitcoin addresses, deposit addresses, so you can like search it and just see all their previous transactions and stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's like the notion of transparency of your finance, which is, I don't know about you, but I was raised like you'd never divulge your personal finance to people, like even friends, you know?
No, I definitely get that. And I'm starting, like, I kind of question that though. Like, I feel like, I don't know.
if you're securing your assets, like, and you are confident about them, I think like there's not a problem with it. And it's kind of like in the nature of cryptocurrency, like that, you know, it's supposed to be secure and there's supposed to be a record of it is the goal. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. But there is still like, you know, the element of privacy, like definitely when it comes to personal finance, like it's like standard for you not to reveal like your hand essentially.
Yeah. Although a lot of these people are still anonymous technically, like the address is maybe anonymous. Like I don't know who you're referring to, but you don't know for a fact.
Actually, when they post it on Facebook, it becomes a lot less anonymous because then you have all their history and their name and Facebook information.
Facebook, especially, like I would assume people like this are smart enough to not have like all their information also on their Facebook, but maybe not.
I mean, if you know someone's Facebook and all their friends and stuff, you can, that's like a lot already.
I mean, like, what if their name isn't even like what it says? Like,
that's true. It could, but I think a lot of them was just normal people.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sure they were, but maybe maybe they just aren't worried because it's kind of impossible to like get your hands on their Bitcoin, you know? Like,
yeah, no, exactly. They're not worried. They don't care if you see it either. So like, that's not a big deal. I actually like searched it. I copied and pasted like the last like thing they did, like the last transaction or the first transaction. And yeah, it was cool. You know, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I did that to like find out like I know now for a fact the money I sent to the wrong address exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I sent it to my phone number, and maybe like someone will hear this podcast and tell me how to fucking get my money back. Because like I can see that it's sent to the address that's correlated with my phone number that apparently like wasn't the address that I was trying to send it to, obviously.
Which coin was it?
It was Band and Anchor.
Anchor.
Anchor was one and Band is one. So like I found the Band transaction on Band Chain, and I haven't looked at the Anchor, to be honest. I don't know why I sent it to my phone number again. I was like, it's probably a bad idea again. Send.
Yeah. Why isn't it working? Send.
Yeah, for sure, you know, like.
Pretty sure I wrote the right number.
It's not how the internet works apparently. If it fails the first time, it's actually likely to fail the second, is what I learned.
It's pretty neat when you look at CoinMarketCap though, and you see the 90-day and year to date, and it's pretty much all green.
Well, yeah, especially the whole market cap. It's like absurd.
Yeah.
We barely got in on like the early part of like the massive wave of adoption.
Ooh,
really.
Synthetics is down. Synthetics network token, I guess.
They're, down more than the rest, or?
They're down 9% in the last 90 days.
Oh, over 90 days. Yeah, those are the ones those are the ones I wonder if they're like swinging like not on the 4-year cycle or something, or if they're just maybe newer, but it's pretty rare you see that. Like
Synthetics is an old one, I think. They've been out for a while, I think.
Yeah, it probably means they just held the value, like, or there was like that mini bull run, right? Like last year, like essentially.
I'm not sure.
I just know last year was very solid for a couple of friends of mine that like were getting involved.
No, if you got in last year, like that's awesome. I got in a little on Robinhood and the results were good, so I got in more now.
I'm really thankful for like Robinhood and those things. People complain and say it's like centralizing it, but like that's exactly why I like the concept, is what you just said.
Yeah, it gives you like an opportunity to experiment and stuff, and you don't have to go balls in.
Yeah, and I'm pretty confident anyone that like is looking to invest, that if you happen to invest like 4 days ago or something, you might get biased and be like, this is bullshit. But I think anyone who invests in it and actually like tries will immediately see the appeal. Like even if you don't give a crap about like the cryptocurrency world, the investments are there, like the numbers.
Yeah, I would say just get involved in the largest coins because those have like, it's been 10 years and a lot of IPOs, and those guys have won out over, a good period of time. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of movement, but Ripple's been up there forever.
Ripple still remains like you see like on Yahoo News and shit, like top 5 coins, and there's Ripple, even though it's completely irrelevant to me because I've never been able to trade it really. But like obviously they're doing a lot in like the world other than the US.
Your Gate.io doesn't have Ripple?
No, it does. That's actually why I got Gate.io, was to get Ripple, and then Ripple started going down.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
But initially that was the only reason I got Gate, was that was the only way I could find to get Ripple, because Gate doesn't use like US fiat. Every other exchange that uses fiat, like they're not touching Ripple.
That's so interesting.
Look what happened to Ripple. Like they're not going to get involved. Most of them just say like trading is disabled at this time. Like I'm sure they're just erring on the side of caution. It may be illegal if you're a US based company. Like that could be what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be like
that's probably the case actually.
Probably, because Coinbase, like they said, oh yeah, we can't do Ripple, there's a lawsuit. We're like, okay.
Yeah, but they still keep it, if you notice, like on their trade list, like because I've always been bullish for that reason, because like crypto.com and a number of exchanges, they keep Ripple there, and when you say buy, like it doesn't let you, but they haven't removed it. Like they want it. They probably like are foreseeing it coming back, is what that means to me. Like if I had crypto.com exchange and I thought it was going to fail, I would not keep it listed on my like assets for trade, you know? So that's why like I'm actually pretty bullish on Ripple, even though it like just got hit with everything else. But actually like it just doubled, right? Really recently.
Yeah, it did. It went from like 50 cents to $2, and now it's at $1, about almost $1.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, because it's at 50 cents for like the first month I was in. So like that only happened in the last few weeks, really.
Yeah, I was at 50 cents for a minute.
Yeah, I've been really impatient, to be honest. I was like looking back through my portfolio as it like withered away and died today. And I made a lot of trades like a week after. Like I got $200 of Cardano, and a week later I traded it for $198 because I just was like super impatient. I was like, it's not working. Like get a different one. There are a bunch of sideways trades that I'm just like, I look now, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Do you ever look at the log graphs?
Yeah, that's like most of what I look at.
Yeah, you don't really look at it in normal.
Well, I do both, but like long term, you kind of have to do the logs.
Right.
So it took me a little while to figure out, because like obviously when you start in this, you hit like the 1 year graph on every single currency, and like they've all skyrocketed parabolically.
Yeah.
So you're like, dude, why would you not invest on every single one? They're just going to go flat and then go straight up. It's awesome.
Right.
But then you like zoom in a log or use a log graph. You're like, oh shit.
So do you compare other cryptocurrencies to Bitcoin, or do you compare it to like USD usually? I usually compare it to USD just because that's how the graphs are usually, but
USD because I am not that savvy with like mental math to like figure out what the price is against Bitcoin.
No, they have graphs like, that are Bitcoin to the currency.
Yeah. So I use USD because like Bitcoin fluctuates in price and USD does.
Yeah. But and also, usually the crypto markets move together though. So when you look at
like not entirely, right? So like
yeah, no, totally. So when you look at Bitcoin compared to the other coins, you kind of get more of a crypto comparison.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that would really like what I was talking about, like figuring out which ones swing opposite, like that would actually be much more useful to look at.
Yeah.
That would actually make it like a very simple process. Just see which ones like go well against Bitcoin when it's a market.
100%, man.
Yeah, actually that's thank you for helping me think through that. Solution actually.
Hell yeah.
So man. Like one thing I figured out in this market correction is what I already like kind of assumed was true, is like you could definitely get too diverse pretty quickly, because like I sold my Bitcoin stack and stuff and it was like too late, but I didn't lose anything. It was like for fun almost. But the other ones, it was just chaos. Like it was like, what price did I get that one at? Fuck, should I sell it now? Like, oh my god, I have 20 more to like worry about. Like,
yeah, like that's why trading and like going into like all the different altcoins, like, whew, that's just like, I don't even know, man.
yeah, you have to be like really like paying attention, or you have to be using automated like sells and buys. That's something I don't do that I really like that and dollar cost averaging. I should be setting like stop losses and stuff, and it's just like something.
How would you go about automating?
What?
How would you go about automating?
You can set like a stop loss and stuff, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Those.
And not super automated, but just like the basic features that people.
Yeah, no, stop losses are cool. Trailing stop loss, that's a pretty cool one, especially for cryptocurrency, because like it tracks how much it goes up, and then when it suddenly falls, it'll just sell it.
Yeah, so like
for cryptocurrency, because it's cryptocurrency's quick drops.
Well, that's what like I'm sitting here and I've learned a lot in the last like week. Like I've just watched them steadily go down to like at this point, like some of them have like gone down by 50%. And like I think that probably every competent person with half a brain is like using stop losses.
Yeah, no, really especially if you're trading
on the exchanges I'm using. So I think Coinbase Pro has it and Gate has it, I believe.
Oh, okay, nice.
I don't know if Gate has it, but I just like I'm scared of like those features because I haven't used them. So
yeah.
But really, stop loss seems too good to be true. Like it's also like it's one of those things. Like no, there's no way that you can set it up so that you don't lose money. That's not allowed.
Well, the only risk with the trailing stop loss is that it goes down and you end up selling all your coins.
Right.
And then it pops up out of reach or it pops up way beyond. And then you're like, oh, fuck, what the fuck?
So can you do a trailing stop loss that like dollar cost averages in a sense, like border, like something like that?
Yeah, you could do something like that. It kicks off at different, prices.
Well, and it'll like, so like if it goes down, it'll sell like a percentage of it, like a small percentage of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had enough money, you have to have enough to put it up, but you could also set up like recurring buys and like it seems like it could get pretty interesting at that point.
Yeah, that's when you have to have like just solid income coming through.
Yeah, you just like set up like 20 buys of Bitcoin at 55,000, set up 20 sells of Bitcoin at 60,000, like, and if it just bounces back and forth, you're going to make the money. And if it doesn't, then you don't, but like, you're not going to lose it.
Yeah, I guess you could do something like that.
There, like, yeah, that's like a whole thing. I've been like just inundated trying to just learn the base of cryptocurrency, but now like actually I need to learn some market features.
Shit, that may not be a bad idea just for like, if you're even holding, you could just set up these limit sells and buys at certain prices, and then it'll just make money while you're holding.
Yeah, I
guess you can consolidate it every once in a while, but yeah, I don't know.
But like you could like I think honestly, like you and I are probably, or at least I'm probably a complete idiot for like letting Bitcoin get as low as it did before I like did anything with it. Like I assume you should just have a stop loss on every single thing like that's conservative. But,
yeah. For me, I don't even fuck with that, man. I mean, I may be an idiot, but I'm just a hodler.
Yeah, I mean, like day trading is definitely, it's not usually beneficial. Like you might make money, but like you could also like work a job and hold them and probably like net gain, you're going to be better off.
Right.
It's like I'm enjoying learning this because I never really learned finance in general.
Yeah.
Like I'm just learning like technical analysis is actually a very fucking cool concept.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, there's a lot of room for jobs in the cryptocurrency space. So I don't know, like.
Yeah, that's true too. That's a good point.
There's always things to learn. And there's a lot of room to grow in the space because it's a new field and no one really knows anything. There's there's a few people who know everything, but then most people don't know much.
Yeah. And you could end up like if this market swings back up and like I get a little more, like, you could end up pretty busy if you're trying to take profits and like it's not going to matter if you don't, like you could wait it, you could take a week off or whatever, but you could also spend like an entire day like taking advantage of like the small opportunities and like you do benefit for the time. So that's where I'm at, which I will be able to figure out maybe in the near future. Is like, is it worth the time of like investing like a lot of time each day, or is it better to just like set alerts and set like automated buys and stop losses and
right? Yeah, you'll probably kind of figure it out as you do more trading and kind of like see your. So how are you keeping track of stuff though? Are you just kind of like keeping it in your head, or you have a spreadsheet?
Yeah, I kind of keep track of like everything else. Like it's probably somewhere. So I don't have a hardware wallet. No, yeah, my downfall is always organization, and like I should get my portfolio a little more like organized and track those sorts of things. But I do know like it's been growing, and like I'm very in touch with how much like I had to put in. So like I know it's going well, or I would be a lot more concerned, is what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm never sure successful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even myself, like with the Excel sheet, I didn't have it the whole time. So I was buying and selling a little. So I don't really know the gains. I'm kind of like, I think I have good gains, but I'm not even sure. It may not be as good as I think.
Yeah, I thought I was going to like keep track of it all in like CoinGecko or something where I can have all of them. And it's like, not the real portfolio, but like just that second step, I didn't do it enough. And like once it's not totally keeping up, you're just like, well, fuck it.
Well, it looks like Dogecoin's coming back up, so that's nice.
It's still kind of doing the thing where like it's totally, I think it became Tether for some people. They were like, fuck it, dude. Dogecoin's like so counterintuitive and opposite. Like, why not just throw the money on there instead of waiting around to watch it go away?
Yeah, Dogecoin actually, for all the coins that I watch, Dogecoin is like the most likely to do its own thing and not follow the market.
Like the least correlated. Yeah, that's like why I say it's like you might have made $1 billion, but it's the stupidest investment that you made.
Yeah, no, seriously. But I invested in it because of the community aspect, which I think is valid. Because
yeah, that's totally valid. That's why I had it.
Yeah, because you can put a monetary value on the network effect, and Dogecoin had like one of the strongest networks of them all.
Really, like that's why I say it was two different. That's why I kept mentioning GameStop. It's like this is two different groups of people. Like there's like these Dogecoin people, they're doing their thing with Dogecoin, and then there's like people that are trading cryptocurrencies or whatever. But they're not the same group of people, because the people with Dogecoin are like my friend Tony, who's like broke as shit, just had a kid, and he made $40,000 on his $10,000, and he would not take any money.
Yeah, no, that's weird. Like, you should take money if you're broke as shit and you have a kid. Like, yeah, take some of that out.
But that's why, like, that's the Dogecoin or GameStop thing too. Is just like, no, why would I do that? Like, it's gonna go up in value. You can't sell it.
Yeah, it's a weird mentality. I mean, I guess I think you should think of it as have money. Don't like I think someone else said don't have life-changing money in there. You know, just especially for Dogecoin. Just have what you're willing to lose in there.
Yeah, that's something I want to like. I wish I was more organized and like enjoyed doing math, because I want to know if you went and you did a baseline amount of research and you put $20 on every currency that's under a penny. I want to know like how that would pan out, you know, like in a day, because it seems like mathematically like they can't really go down all that much. Like your $20 can only disappear and you lost $20, but how much could it become? You know?
No, so, totally. Yeah.
I doubt it works out, because otherwise like everyone would do it. But I'm curious how like if you really religiously just put like a very small investment on like the entire spread of potentials, because they moon so hard, they like go up by so much like parabolically, it might add up. I don't know.
No, I think you have a point, but I think it helps to be more selective, because I think I remember hearing about 90% of the altcoins in the initial in the initial bear market failed, and they just kind of went out.
Right. So you mean like after 2017?
Something like that, yeah. Like 90% of altcoins didn't make it. And then, so now we're in another bull market. And actually, like, if you look at this graph, it's a pretty steep decline right now.
Well, is it of them like going to zero that you're looking at?
Oh no, I'm looking at Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's like the thing is like you're incorporating the risk of like losing your investment because they can go to zero and disappear. Like Bitcoin can go down, you still have it.
Yeah,
So, like,
Bitcoin's not going to zero.
Yeah, and even if it goes down to $20, at least you have $20. Like, you know, like whereas like an altcoin, like a low cap altcoin, can just vanish.
Yeah,
which is why I initially like was never involved in this because like I was scared until like a few months ago that Bitcoin could still do that, which like I understand it won't now.
Yeah,
that's people's argument. Like now, even radical people is like I just don't quite trust that like it has the integrity, and I do understand why there's like why it's turning.
And I think a lot of people are on that like in that mindset because I think that was my mindset like 5 years ago when I was kind of like, this looks like it could be kind of interesting to throw some money down on, but then I was like, I'm just throwing money away. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's like I haven't like gotten involved, but I've always had my eye on it and like had friends that like would mention Bitcoin, and I definitely like. I always felt like that looked like pretty appealing, and people were getting rich. But like, first of all, I don't have the money to like chance it, and second of all, it seems like someone could just pull the rug out from under this entire concept, you know. So when I saw institutions investing, actually, like that was the moment when I decided, like, okay, this just became like a safe investment because banks are not investing in it to lose their money or other people's money, really.
Yeah, once institutions got invested in it, I started getting a little like frothy at the mouth and was like, oh, I got a little greedy, I think. Like, oh, it's time to get on the train now.
Yeah. This is definitely a slap in the face, like this market correction, because I got in literally hours before Elon Musk tweeted about putting like $1.5 billion on Bitcoin, like hours before. So right after I put money in, I was like, oh, I knew it was the right call. Look, Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. And then all the institutions happened. And like, it was like a crazy, like actually amount of things that have happened in the last 2 months since I started.
Yeah.
So like I've been out the whole time and it's been going well. And I was kind of like I thought actually it was just going to continue like that. So I've learned.
I mean, the thing is, we're at like a coin flip stage right now. It could continue or it could continue. It could go up or it could go down, I think.
Yeah, but the point is there's not like an issue. Like yeah, Biden said whatever, but like there's not like a flaw is what I mean. You know?
This is just like, natural behavior.
Yeah, and I'm not looking to cash out in the next month. Like I don't care about that. Of course, like there's always, as you're watching, the concern, like, what if it doesn't turn around? What if it doesn't go up? It's just going down. Like, what are we going to do?
So what's your exit strategy? Do you have one?
Sell it as fast as possible. No, my exit strategy,
Speed.
My exit strategy is like, it depends obviously on liquidity. So I can't rely on there like being liquidity. So my exit strategy and general strategy is like stack Satoshis, you know? Mm-hmm. And I can live on nothing. Like I don't plan to cash out like for a loss, you know, say there's like no liquidity, like that's fine. Everyone who couldn't cash out in 2017 is perfectly okay with
that. Yeah, right.
Like maybe they like sold it like stupidly when it was down, you know, and had a loss. But most people losing money in 2017, they didn't lose money. They just made half as much as they thought they were going to.
Right.
Like it's not a loss. That's what you discover in crypto. It's like, these aren't losses, guys. That's not what losses are.
It's a matter of time, right? What time is it?
Like, no, you didn't lose anything. You just didn't gain a bunch. Like sorry, you know, sorry, but I just dropped $20. I don't get that shit back.
Even if you bought at the top, it was about 20,000 at the top. So it would have been like, even now over, you know, 100% gain, almost 200% gain.
Yeah. Yeah. So like this is hurting, like today it hurts, but I bought it at 43K. So like really for the amount of time I've been in, like even if it stayed at 60 or whatever, or even now, like it's good growth for any other asset class. That's amazing growth.
Yeah, 100%. I think, so you have a good chunk in Bitcoin, so you think it's going to be going up within the next couple months, or what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's gonna like explode like everyone says. Like I'm curious to see actually what the future holds for like Bitcoin versus Ethereum, especially because I do think Bitcoin will stay around and I do think it's going to be a store of value, but I don't know if it's going to like necessarily explode like people plan. Which is like the goal of it is not to do that. Like that's actually like end game for Bitcoin is never to like have massive fluctuations. Like that's what you want. So
Yeah.
it's kind of weird like that you're sitting here like hoping it has like this high volatility, but really like the goal of it is not to have volatility.
Right. But if you look at it, it's about 10 times less market cap than gold or something. And that's kind of its position it's trying to take is the gold position. And it's trying to take that and then
yeah, I'm not sure like I know that's like said and that could be true, but I'm not sure how much they can't just both exist. Like is it really like one or the other? Like I understand there's finite amounts of money in the world, but it's not like all the money going on to Bitcoin is coming from gold. Some of it is probably a fair amount, but
no, yeah,
like,
I think you're going to see movement from gold to Bitcoin. You're not going to see like people are still going to invest in gold. Like that's withstood the test of time forever. But I think you're just going to see movement out.
Yeah. But like you also may be seeing like net movement in like, you know, like maybe relatively less money is going into gold, but that doesn't mean like they both can't increase or like they talk about Bitcoin and the US dollar like they're like mutually exclusive or something, but no, they're like clearly it's going to be an incorporation. We're not going to exclude like fiat. That's not going to happen.
Right. Well, I mean, Bitcoin does kind of undermine fiat in like a sense that it's sort of a competition to fiat because fiat is like a function of government control and then Bitcoin is like its own thing.
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't actually see why, and maybe they don't have a problem because the government owns a shitload of Bitcoin, but like really I just see it as a way to hedge your, like even if I'm like the US Treasury, don't you want to hedge your bets against market crashes? Like it's that simple in my head. Like,
but like so what you're saying too, though, is market crashes may come along with like Bitcoin kind of reflects the market too. Now it's kind of they kind of come together a little bit. Before they were
they're inverse,
now
right?
they're
Like
kind of
actually, like when the US dollar goes up, Bitcoin's going down, like in general.
Oh, okay.
Or vice versa. I think that's supposed to be the notion. Like inflation will raise the value of Bitcoin because the US dollar goes down, and that makes like US dollar investments less appealing, and there's less confidence in the US dollar. So like they're supposed to like be an inverse relationship, but obviously like that doesn't mean like they can still both go up, but by like that's different amounts is what I'm trying to say.
No, totally. Yeah, no, I feel it. I think overall though, you are gonna see like, yeah, the market cap of gold could go up a bit, but you're gonna see much more of an acceleration in Bitcoin. You're gonna see a deceleration of the investment in gold and acceleration in investment in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, and this is where it gets a little weird, and I don't like have like the experience or knowledge of these things, but like gold has real world use. Gold has like real world use cases, and like it also has store of value. But like, how many people that like if I say like, oh, I put money on gold, how many people really just went out and bought a gold bar and like have it to like melt down and make jewelry with if they want? Like, it's not like actually functional to most people that invest in gold. Some people that are really serious like do hoard the real gold. But in general, you're just like paying like the junior miners or whatever to like essentially have stock in gold. So,
and I've heard there's a lot of corruption.
Yeah, and that makes it like no different like than Bitcoin is like it has a limited use case and it has a high store of value. So like people say Bitcoin's problem is it doesn't have actual use and gold can make jewelry, but like I can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin. So
at this point you can, yeah. But gold definitely has more utility because you can use it with stuff. But I think gold's price, like I'm kind of annoyed with gold's price because people have inflated its value to be a store of value when it could be more of a raw material value.
And it's a valuable raw material too.
Yeah, it's a really cool raw material. It doesn't oxidize. It's like conductive, and it's
And it's a really good conductor.
yeah, it's shiny too. It's
So
awesome.
shit, maybe it would be like very good for overall like the global economy to actually lower the value of gold by a lot. You know?
Yeah, maybe. And then we could use it for more technological stuff, cheaper.
Yeah. Do you know about semiconductors? Could they use gold? Do they use gold?
Yeah, they do use gold. A lot of like microprocessors, they use gold, so because it doesn't oxidize. And
Right.
otherwise they'll use like usually copper is like the cheap version of gold, and it does oxidize. So you usually put another layer or something on it. So with gold, you don't have to put that extra layer.
Is silver conductive? It is, right?
I don't think it's as conductive, but it is
Well, I know like gold
conductive.
is like the best option. Like audio connections, like the best ones are always made of gold. That's all I know. But
Nice.
I don't know how silver comes in. And do you know like the notion of silver price? Have you like heard this? Like, there's like a strong sentiment that silver is going to explode in price soon because it's been suppressed related to the price of gold.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I've heard there's some shenanigans going on with like silver price, but one of my friends is like really into it, and he's into buying silver coins and whatnot. And
Yeah, there's like a lot of crossover between crypto people and this silver hype actually that I've noticed.
yeah.
There is actually, it's like valid, like the price of silver. It's fucking windy as shit. The price of silver had been suppressed because I guess they try to keep it at a certain ratio to the price of gold to help control like the prices of gold, basically, for the price of gold.
Oh,
So they're like so they're keeping the price of silver down, even though there's actually like extremely high demand and like consumption. So if you look like it's totally, even to the untrained eye, like it's obviously not right. Like when you see the price and the demand and supply. So it's not to say like it's guaranteed to go up, because the whole point is like the U.S. government has like their foot on the price, but eventually that will break. Like that's the notion, and that's what gold did, and that's when it like unlinked from fiat. Was essentially when that occurred.
yeah, you could see there's a gold price divided by silver price.
Yeah, it's like
Ratio's 10-year rolling average.
silver's going up in comparison. I think it had a little jump in price recently, like actually, but not anything drastic.
So based on your technical analysis, what would you say, what do you see in the future of the Bitcoin chart?
Based on technical analysis?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good answer.
No, I love technical analysis as a concept, but it's kind of like saying psychiatry or psychology is like a hard science, if that makes sense to you. Like, it's just not quite there. It's not quite there.
Totally.
Like, you can't say like most of the time and have it be very valuable unless you have like numbers, you know. And I haven't gotten that deep. Maybe you could find that. Like, how many times is like a bullish pendant like accurate? But I think the numbers are pretty low actually. If you look at any technical analysis feature, like the odds are actually probably not very good that it like does what it is predicting.
Yeah, there's one thing about like technical analysis is like I feel like you have all this past records of stuff. So can you like make a sure thing, like something that's fairly like pretty relatively, you know, reliable?
Well, so technical analysis is like actually, and that's like why like technical analysis is like a hard science, but then you like throw human emotion into the system, and you know it's like trying to like have autonomous cars with like human drivers. Like it's never gonna fucking happen.
Right.
Because you just can't predict. Like I'm sure the autonomous driving cars are like they're very good drivers if they're not involved with humans, but like how does a computer that's trained or that knows how to drive predict like a drunk person's actions or whatever, you know, or even whatever person like just like irrational, completely impulsive actions that you cannot do math for.
It's pretty crazy though. Like, have you seen those videos where the Tesla like beeps and then does an emergency brake and it like something comes flying out of the side of the road?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. I wonder how many times they've gotten rear-ended.
Yeah, but I don't know, like at the same time it's still like saved an accident, like a bigger accident happening.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, like that's too much control for the machine for my taste personally.
Right.
Like what happens if like your sensor breaks and you just slam on the brakes on the freeway at like 80 miles an hour for no reason? You know? That's just like too much control for the car, in my opinion.
Well, ideally the sensor doesn't like, I mean, if a sensor is not functional, it'll detect that and will tell you to fix it.
Well, I mean, yeah, if everything works perfectly, it's awesome.
Yeah. But that's the point. I mean, that's the point of like, you know, mass production and stuff, is to get things working, you know, as high a rate as possible.
Yeah, yeah. But if it doesn't exist, it can never occur. So
it's just a limit though. It's like is the theoretical limit of Bitcoin going to be reached? Oh yeah, in 2028 or something.
Yeah, it's like a lot longer than you would think looking at it, because it's halving. It has like every 4 years, right? That's the cycle, roughly.
The halving is coming up soon too. It's in like May 18th, I think.
When was the last one? 2017, right?
Sorry?
The last halving was 2017. Is that true?
It says 9th of July, 2016.
Oh, really?
And now it's May 2020. And the next one is 2024.
Oh, I thought you said it's about to have. Oh, yeah, no, I thought you said it's about to have.
It is in May.
No, 2021.
Oh, it is 2021.
Good. I was like, dude, that's a problem. Those are two very different situations. No, yeah, I mean,
that is so different.
That is like not what I thought though. I thought like the market crash was associated with the halving event.
No, usually, yeah, it pops up during halvings.
Yeah, that's something
we'll have to wait.
I don't quite understand. Like I understand the halving cycle, but I don't understand like enough about mining. And, like, first of all, like what control they have, and like why they're gonna do it till the end and stuff.
Like, yeah, no, I don't really get it either.
Like when Bitcoin halves, does every mining facility just make 50% as much money? I doubt it. Like that can't be, unless they're making that much money that they're okay to do that. But that's not really like a working business model.
Well, the thing is, like, it's 50% of the money, but ideally the value has increased by like more than 50%. So it's not like a loss or something.
No, yeah, it's not a net loss, but it sure as hell seems like it when suddenly you're making half as much one day, because it's like sudden. It's going to be an abrupt change. So.
But that's how it is for everyone. So that gets translated into the price, I think.
What do you mean?
Because it's harder to get Bitcoin, so it's just supply and demand. So it just.
Well, yeah. So it should like gradually adjust, right? Is like the idea.
I think that's the idea. Because so that's the idea of it being deflationary.
Well, because the miners will have to charge more to like keep the same revenue, I guess, is probably the obvious concept.
Well, maybe not if the value of the coin is higher, even though they're getting less of it, they may be getting the same amount of overall
That's what
value.
I mean. Like their goal is probably like to make the same amount or more, like even though it halves. So like,
right.
Like we're not throwing any variables in, like you would have to double the price, you know? So maybe that's actually like, I think that is probably what fuels most of the price, right? It's just miners and like what they charge or what they make. I wonder how much that.
I think overall demand too, just like, you know, how much people know about it and are buying into the concept.
Yeah. But miners like I don't know the numbers, but miners definitely like are a big impact, and like there are times that they will hold because they think something or whatever is about to happen, and there are times like they're selling. So that's something I don't understand. That definitely is like a massive influence on the market.
Well, one thing I heard about miners is that they don't really hold Bitcoin too often. They usually convert it straight to currency and they're using it to spend on expenses and costs and all this stuff.
More mining machines. I wonder if that's true, because really that would not be like your ideal model. I would think. I would think like your ideal model is like no matter what, like have someone it has left over, you know, like have some.
Yeah, no, definitely like you'd want to store some of it over time.
You want to store all you can, like if it's going to have a double in value, right? Like all that you possibly can. And
but that's the thing. I think a lot of people in Bitcoin initially didn't realize how profitable it would be.
Yeah, like the dude who bought a pizza with like 10,000 Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah. And I heard a funny thing, like there was a League of Legends competition. First place was like $500, and then it went all the way down to like fifth place, which was like $50, and then sixth place got 200 Bitcoin.
Oh my god, dude! And like really, like even the most intelligent, like wisdomful person in the world at that point, like whether they admit it or not, had no fucking idea it was gonna be successful. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like they say now, like, yeah, of course, like I would have taken the Bitcoin, but like, you don't know that.
Well, I don't know. Like, there's people who bet a lot of money that it would be successful, and I'd say that is kind of proof that if you're betting that much, that's kind of just making a statement.
Well, yeah, but also like in general in life, if someone says, "Do you want $50, a car, or this cool question mark?" Like, you should not probably pick the question mark.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's usually a scam. They're like, you want like first place is this, second place is this, and third place is a massive amount of like this weird thing that, you know, seems valuable
that no one wants yet. But
like immediately, I'm like 200 Bitcoin. Clearly, those are fucking worthless. I'll take the $50.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because really, like that hasn't occurred with another asset. Like there was never any point where someone's like, "Here, have some gold."
Huh. Yeah, I guess,
maybe like maybe in the gold rush, like that was the case. Maybe actually, like maybe that did occur, but
not to the extent of Bitcoin, like because Bitcoin is like trash.
And not in short term period is the difference. Really, like 12 years is like not very much for a rise to power for like an asset class.
Yeah, that's an insane rise. That is
like how long has the stock market been going? Like since 1890 or some shit.
Yeah.
Which I still don't understand. Did they like ride horses around and communicate this shit every day? Like how did like the global stock market work in 1890?
Holy shit, dude. Oh wait. Oh, okay. It says the first stock market began in Amsterdam in 1611. America didn't get into the stock market game until the late 1700s. It was then that a small group of merchants made the Buttonwood Tree Agreement. That's how it started, the Buttonwood Tree Agreement.
So it was just like Bitcoin. It's like, hey, we'll call it the Buttonwood Tree Agreement. That was fun.
The U.S. system under Buttonwood Tree was based on the existing European trading systems at the time. The agreement aimed to create trust in the system whereby brokers and merchants would trade with each other while representing the public's interests.
It's so hard to like try to explain where the value in currency is. Like I still I don't know.
Like Forex?
No, like the value in currency is that someone told you the value is there. Like in any currency, in all of these, like the value is like you just said it, like that you're convinced and you have trust of someone stating the fact that it's gonna be valuable.
In God we trust.
Yeah, that's how you know. Like red flag. They told you right on the coin. It's bullshit.
I think the dollar has gotten us pretty far. We've done a lot with it. It's cool that I can buy like, you know, a bike with money, with paper. You know, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's still a fucking imaginary thing that like someone just said is valuable. Like try to explain to someone who's like arguing or playing devil's advocate like why it's valuable.
Well, I think at the end of the day, it's valuable because we dropped an atom bomb on a country.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Finally, someone gets it. War is profit, you know. Bitcoin's war.
Well, that's the thing about Bitcoin. You don't have to drop bombs for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is its own, like, it's a technological bomb drop.
Yeah. Drop Bitcoin's not a bomb.
There's no, you can't destroy Bitcoin with a bomb.
Did you hear China, like, they actually like made a weapon that can fire Bitcoin and they're like aiming it towards the United States?
What?
No, they literally, like, they weaponize Bitcoin. It fires fucking Bitcoins like at a high rate of speed, and like they can fire it straight towards the US. Like, I read this.
What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, it was like in a TED talk too. Read it. China weaponizes Bitcoin.
Okay. I know I've read like stuff like that, but not like.
Yeah, no, literally, it's like a musket or something, but it shoots coins, and it's giant.
Is this like an onion thing?
Probably. I just like, I want to know where they're gonna land. My question. It's kind of like when Mexico tried to fire weed bricks at us.
Man, when I was in Mexico, I got like a pound for like $100, and it was like the worst weed. But I smoked like these fat J's of it, and I don't know, it was all right.
At least it's consistent. Everyone I've ever known that got weed in Mexico is like, yeah, it was hands down like the worst brick weed I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're consistent.
Yeah, because all the rest of it. Did you hear about like the weed cannon? Like, it was a real thing.
I believe it.
They adapted like an Air Force size like fucking cannon to shoot bricks of weed for miles, and they just like randomly fired them into the desert, and they had people like going out searching for them on the other side. It was like a cartel.
It's insane, man.
Yeah, they just shot bricks like randomly, like, we shot it about northeast. Like,
That's being like a bunch of kids doing it, because that just doesn't seem profitable.
No, yeah, no.
Shit, well, I mean, brickweed.
Like, if it's a dead kid, like, you're good, but like living kids cost a lot.
A dead kid?
Oh god, yeah. I'm just saying, you gotta be efficient. Living kids take food. Food costs money.
That's true. Yeah. So wait, they'd fire them in like the corpse of the person, or?
Yeah, they did do that actually.
It's fucking gnarly.
That actually, so my family is like in Imperial Beach, which is the southernmost city in California, and I have like cousins my age. And they used to go to like Tijuana like every weekend to hang out like with their high school friends and shit, because you didn't have to, like you didn't need what you do now.
Yeah.
And when that story came out, like they absolutely had to stop doing it. Because literally, like, a girl like their age got like stuffed with drugs and sewn up, and they tried to like get across the border with her in the passenger seat, like dressed up. Shit. It was like a really gruesome story. And
what?
Yeah, literally, like they like killed this girl who was a tourist and like did that and like made her look as alive as possible, but like they got caught. So it was like a dude driving with like that like person in the passenger seat.
That's gnarly, man. I went to Tijuana.
I was like, that's not real, dude. That can't be real, but I guess it was.
Yeah, no, it's like it's a whole another world over there. Like once you pass like through the gates of the US, it turns the infrastructure like goes down a level, and everything's in Spanish, and it's just like, oh, this is a different world all of a sudden.
What's a funny contrast is like New Year's or 4th of July if you go to Imperial Beach, because like my grandma's house is right on the estuary, so it's just like an estuary and then a fence and then Tijuana. So like on 4th of July or something, like you hear a few fireworks around you, and you look over there and there's just like a mushroom cloud of smoke and like guns going off and fucking like giant fireworks, and everyone's like having a good time.
Oh shit, that's gnarly.
There's just like this giant cloud of smoke coming off of Tijuana from like crazy ass fireworks and stuff.
They have that big ass flag too. That's pretty badass.
Do they have a big flag?
That like big Mexican flag. You could see it. Oh
yeah, I bet you can. It's kind of far away. I'm sure like with binoculars you could probably see it well.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I like that beach though. I don't know if I've been to Imperial Beach, but like San Diego beaches are solid.
Yeah. Imperial Beach is cool because it's like really not in San Diego, even though they say it is, but it's like very far south, and it's definitely not very crowded. It's a cool beach. It's like a different kind of theme than most of SoCal, really.
I feel like you'd see a lot of border patrol over there just like walking around.
Like every day there's a helicopter, literally like 100% of the day, like flying back and forth.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. They haven't figured out yet, like, hey guys, they do it at fucking nighttime. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't want to tell them. I'm not trying to like rat anyone out. But like, they don't even know that because they just fly around in the day and then they're off work. No, it's actually really crazy. Like it's something you don't realize until you see it. Like it's really like it is every fucking night. Like people are coming over and it's really crazy. It's like you don't realize it's actually something that's occurring that often when you like learn about immigration.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
right now.
I don't have a problem with it personally, but a lot of people like do, and they don't live in Imperial Beach.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good place unless you're trying to catch them. Then it would be a good place.
Yeah, it'd be awesome for that. But like I've seen them, like they come in like relatively big groups and like they have like trash bags on their backs, and usually they came out of the estuary. Like you can see them at night.
Yeah,
like, they're very quiet. They're very quiet and respectful, and there's like no crime is the funny thing.
Yeah,
like people would probably try to argue that like there would be crime involved, but like actually like obviously these people are not going to cause any trouble at all, and they're super like quiet and they just pass through.
Dang.
You know, and I don't think anyone's like calling the cops on them around there, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I remember like reading the book Tortilla Curtain, and like kind of it talked about the experience of a migrant, and it was very
such a crazy experience.
It's crazy. Yeah,
like this kid thing, like there are kids coming from like not Mexico, like south of Mexico, that have come alone at like 13 fucking years old, pretty much with the directions like keep going that way. Like that is insane. That's insane.
Yeah,
I went to Disneyland once. That was fucking terrifying.
So do you think that that's the case because of colonialism, and like do you think America or just colonialism in general fucked up countries and like is causing this kind of dynamic, or is that too simplistic?
I feel like maybe initially, obviously, it was for opportunity in the U.S. That was at least what I learned was the notion of why to come here. But now, like what I hear repeatedly is actually it's just like so bad and violent, and like cartels are doing whatever or whatever's going on. Is it Venezuela or somewhere has like a ton of violence right now, and a lot of the kids are coming from there. And like that's totally a different thing than like coming to the United States for like an opportunity. Like it's more like they're fleeing and they should have amnesty, honestly.
Totally. No, but I mean in terms of why is that country fucked up? Like why are people fleeing from it? Why is there crime in the first place? And
a lack of centralization, probably.
Well, I think it's I mean, I've heard the argument that the US kind of bullies other countries and we kind of destabilize other countries and put, whoever we want in leadership. And
yeah, we've decided it's our job to like fix the world.
Yeah, police the world. We're the world police, America.
Yeah. It really is kind of ridiculous. Like how did we fool so many people, including ourselves, into like thinking that's our responsibility?
It's that hero mentality, you want to be the hero.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like obviously you see things in the world occurring that like are blatantly wrong. So like that's how they trick the public into like going along with it. But it seems like to me that we just want to be in control,
Yeah.
Like we want them to be like our ideal setup, whereas like China would say the same thing. It's just not the same direction that we go, But I don't know. That's why you easily can draw the line at like, hey, don't go into other people's houses and like eat the shit out of their fridge, and tell them what to put in there. Like,
yeah, I think that's so Bitcoin kind of bringing it back to cryptocurrency. Bitcoin kind of like represents I don't know, just like it's an option to the dollar. Like the dollar is kind of the big boss in the world right now, and Bitcoin is like this digital currency that you can like, it's basically like, because the whole point of credit cards is that you are using a card rather than paper. So Bitcoin is kind of like that already. And I guess credit cards, you borrow the money, but
Yeah,
that's kind of the shitty part of credit cards, right? The cool part of credit cards is that it's just a fucking card you swipe. The shitty part of credit cards is that you pay the shit back later and you get charged interest for it.
Yeah, and the entire system is designed for you to fail.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Like, that is cool.
So there is something to being able to borrow money. Like if I borrow this money, I can like maybe get some equipment that I can use to sell something to someone else. Then I could pay that off and then have more money later.
Yeah.
But
well,
then
right now I'm looking at like, can I get money loans to like get some fucking Bitcoin at this price? Like, is that worth it? Can I get a car loan? Like, I swear I'll buy a car.
Well, that's what people do with stocks and stuff, right? They do the margin stuff.
Yeah, is that what I actually I don't know what margin trading is. I just know not to do it.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, like anything that's like, hey, you know how this is awesome, but like, do you want it to be even more awesome? Like, I just avoid.
Yeah, I think that's margin trading is definitely something like you're using borrowed money. It's not your own money.
Yeah, like leverage trading is the same concept, and like it's actually a lot more complicated than it sounds. Like they try to say like it's a 5x leverage. Do you want 5 times the money? Like definitely not what's going on.
Yeah.
I opened a 5x leveraged long position on Ripple, and then an hour later I panicked and I sold it immediately.
And,
that was
what happened?
That was right before this crash, actually. So like totally the right decision. I was like, cool, like I think the lawsuit's gonna resolve. Like I'm gonna put a 5x leverage position in, and I did it, and then I realized and read a little more about leverage and was like, holy fuck, dude, sell it right now.
So if you held that position, how much would you have lost?
I have no idea,
dude.
It was at like almost like fucking $2. It was at like 180 when I did that.
Yeah, man, it was up there.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, can you go into debt in the crypto universe? Like, I assume it's all collateralized, so like no. Like that's what I've always assumed. Like there are lending protocols, but I think you have to like have the backing for the loan verified. Like, and I assume they put it like in escrow or something. But there are collateralized loans in crypto that are pretty cool, I think. In fact, it's a good way to get passive income is these lending protocols. My friend, he says that you can make, what did he say? He said 40 cents a minute on Bancor.
Bancor network token.
Yeah. Like he's like doing like whatever is that a market maker or a lending protocol? I don't remember what Bancor is.
Yeah, I think it's some sort of, let's see. Ethereum token's a fully on-chain liquidity protocol that it can be implemented to any smart contract.
Yeah. So it's like liquidity pooling or whatever, mining.
Something.
But anyway, yeah, he says he's making like 40 cents a minute, which I'm sure is exaggerated, but even if it's half that, that's pretty crazy.
40 cents a minute is really good.
Yeah, and that's like passive income because he's just like pooling whatever currencies that he's pooling. So like that's a lot.
I'm making $1 a day, a little less than $1 a day on passive.
How much, like, if you don't mind me asking, how much is that on like how much is invested to get $1 a day?
Right now it's 2,500 about.
Okay, that's like still annually a very good return though, like by standard investment standards.
What percent is that?
That's like almost 20%, right? Like,
damn.
Like 360, dollars in a year, basically.
Oh yeah, so 365. Oh yeah.
Sorry, I cuss a lot.
It's like 15%.
Man, that was a good guess. I used to be really good at math. Those things like, man, I wish I enjoyed this because I'm pretty good at it. But
I was like, I would kind of like be comfortable with math. I would never say I was good at math though. I'd just figure stuff out to get by and then, leave it at that.
That's when it like went from like interesting to like actually disliking it, was when I hit like calculus and that became the case. It's like, dude, this is not fun or rewarding anymore. Cause like, I just want to get the whole
Yeah.
Like,
for me, it was linear algebra. Linear algebra kind of sucked.
Yeah. I mean, that would go for like in pre-calc essentially, right?
We did some of that. Yeah, we did some of that in pre-calc, and then there was just a linear algebra class in college, and we had this crazy professor, and he like explained math like in artistic terms. So it was kind of cool, but it was also kind of like, I don't understand what you're saying.
You understand this is math?
Yeah.
They are. I don't get it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, and then you can put this here and do that and do that. I was like, what are you talking about?
You know, my fucking career is riding on this shit. Can we be serious? But that's a cool class if it's like stated, like, like math philosophy is like very cool. But
yeah, if I was ready for math philosophy, that would have been different. But no, like this guy was giving tests and shit about linear algebra, and I was like, what the fuck, dude? So I straight up used Khan Academy on YouTube, and I got through that class.
Oh, someone just gave Khan like a huge amount of money. Like I just saw the random headline.
Yeah, Elon Musk, I think.
Elon Musk, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He gave him like $40 million or something for Khan Foundation, which is pretty badass.
That's pretty badass.
He's like an amazing teacher, and like I remember using Khan when it was like not very known, and it was like such a valuable resource. But it's one of those things you sit there like, why is this guy doing this? I don't get it. Like
he explained things really well.
He just wants to help. No way. But then you like keep watching and you're like, wow, this guy just really wants to teach you. Like,
what's the end game, Khan?
Yeah, right. Like he's like, what do you mean? Elon Musk just gave me $40 million. What do you mean? What's the end game?
But he's rich, he was a hedge fund manager or whatever. So he was like, all right, I'm good. Like, let me help someone.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, if you got rich, people say like you're going to be unhappy if you get rich, but I've been thinking about that a lot recently. I'm pretty sure that only applies to people who have old money and didn't transition to being rich. Because like I'm never gonna regret a day of my life like if I become rich, because I'll be like on a jet ski or like flying through the air somehow or whatever. I will have fun every day. It won't matter that I'm like, it's not gonna make me less happy.
Well, I think people I think when they say that, it's kind of like it kind of wealth just exaggerates who you already are. So if you're already like kind of a miserable person, the wealth is just going to exaggerate. So you can spend on a lot of stuff, but it's just going to amplify the miserableness. But if you're a happy person, then it's going to amplify that. Yeah. That's like one version I've heard. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And the slippery slope of that is that like sorry, but money actually can totally buy you happiness if you're broke as fuck. Like
no, money is like people like especially like hippie people. Like I'm kind of a hippie person, and there's like money is evil is kind of a mentality, but I think money isn't evil. It's like
it sucks that we need money. I agree. Like that's evil. I do agree with that notion. But like
there's situations.
Not the evil part. Like, and it's far too late for the rest. I actually got into it with a friend recently because he wasn't being that serious, but he was like, it's really sad that like you think money's so important, because I was just talking about how like I'm trying to invest and like not be completely broke. After like this pandemic and like the most horrible like broke year of my life.
Oh yeah.
He got kind of cutting. He's like, yeah, it's just sad that like you think like that's gonna make you happy or anything. And I was like, I'm a little like, that's almost offensive, dude, because like I just like pretty much spent a year down and out like a lot of people did. So like money can totally improve my situation at the moment. Like and it's kind of like I'm not sure why people want to like make other people feel bad for wanting money when like inherently like you fucking need it. I'm sorry, unless you're okay with like living on nothing. Yeah, no, it's surprising how much it costs just to be alive, just to like exist
you need to like spend a lot of money.
And it's like, I'm sorry, like they talk about inflation not occurring, but like I know that milk was not that expensive, and I know that my dollar's worth a really similar amount, you know? Like I want a gallon of milk at the store, it cost me twice as much as like 10 years ago. But they say there's only been like 3% inflation or whatever. But I'm pretty sure that like that's one of those things, like they are totally stepping on that number because inflation is bad, like by most people's standards. Because that's bullshit. How are you measuring inflation? Because I know that like my dollar is less valuable in the store today. And I just saw actually an article that said like commodities increase in price by like the most dramatic amount since like blah, blah, blah. So how is that not inflation if all of the commodities and assets I want have gone up in price? And
yeah, like the cost to make a house has gone up because wood's expensive and everything else is more expensive, like 30%.
And they're just not including it in the math because like that's inflation by definition. Like I get less for my money. So, you know, maybe it's like the silver thing, like they really are just suppressing the math.
But it's interesting if you look at the graph of like billions of dollars in circulation, and you look at the 2020 number and how that it's just like, you know, it's kind of like a cryptocurrency graph.
Yeah, that's not good. No, that's actually like I think we have to have inflation. People say that like a president has navigated waters like this before, like look what Obama did. It's like, okay, we printed money like at that time, but we didn't do it because like 500,000 people were dying or whatever. Like this was totally like unprecedented, and it was a massive amount of money, and like we had our hands tied. Like that hasn't occurred in my lifetime that I can recall, except for a war, which is like inherently profitable. So
I'm gonna search inflation in Google Trends.
It's got to be up there. I haven't used Google Trends, and I keep meaning to.
Inflation. 2004 to present. It looks like it's not that much search. It's about search as much now as it was back in 2008 of March. So before the last financial crisis, we're about the same level.
When everything crashed.
Yeah, when everything crashed, we're at that same level.
That's good. That would make sense. Like I bet you even like the smaller fluctuations, like when the market's about to crash, the word inflation starts getting searched a little.
Yeah.
Or not in that order, maybe. But like I would say our economy is so far doing better than I expected with my like very limited experience.
No, yeah, we've had a lot of years of up markets, so it's supposed to go down like one every 3 years. So I guess this is the year.
And we turned 2020 into like the best year ever across the board for every company. Like except like obviously small businesses closed and struggled, but like so many bigger companies had a really lucrative year in 2020 when like it was a pandemic. Like a lot of bigger businesses had an increase in revenue.
There's more people searching market crash now than in 2008.
It's because they were there in 2008.
They're fearful.
No, it's probably because of fucking Bitcoin popularity, honestly, like really. Because that's like I don't know, it's hard to tell these days how much your media is catered to you, you know? So like I can never tell if like something's actually a big deal or if like I'm the only one that fucking saw that headline today, especially with crypto, because I'm like wondering if anyone around me is seeing these headlines like Bitcoin falls by blah 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 or like whatever.
Actually,
but like I've been seeing it on like my Roku TV apps and shit, so that's when I'm like, okay, it's popping up on TV. Like
you use Roku?
Yeah.
How do you like Roku?
I like actually you can like customize what news and it just like not randomly, but it just cycles through it.
Nice.
Cool. And it's free.
I'm invested in Roku. I think I've heard good things about them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they're like they're not really dealing with any competition, like per se, really. There's like one other platform, right?
I don't know.
There's like Sony, which basically uses like Android, and then there's a Roku, and I don't think there's even anything else.
Nothing on that scale, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you not have a Roku TV?
No.
You know how much they cost now? Like for like a 55-inch flat screen? Like $200. Like, I'm not shitting you. TVs are super cheap now.
That's badass.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I had like a really old shitty TV for the last like 5 years because I thought they cost like $1,000 or something. So
yeah, right.
I went to Target and got like a 50-inch TCL flat screen for like $200.
That's legit.
Yeah, it's awesome. And Roku's pretty cool.
A lot of people are upgrading their. Sachin got another TV. I got one of my coworkers gave me her TV, which was awesome.
That's what's happening now. Is like the used market is not even a thing. Like there are so many TVs floating around just junk.
Yeah, seriously.
I want to. So have you like donated much to thrift stores? Have you like done that and tracked it ever and like tried to do a?
Yeah, I mean, I'll collect my stuff and then I'll take it to Goodwill every now and then.
But do you claim it on your taxes?
I did. Yeah, I only claimed like $20, but you know, it's like, all right.
Was that a rough estimate, or did you like have to itemize it?
I think I itemized it, but it's like it's all like honor system, you know. So
yeah, to a point, right? Well, that's why I'm kind of like curious because I just looked up. There's like an app now for it, or a number of them, so you can just in real time like track your donations and like you have the record of it, and like it could be a massive fucking amount of money throughout a year actually that like you're writing off. Like you can donate a TV. There's just like the way it works is there's basically a flat rate for like if I want to donate a TV, a modern TV to a thrift store, I get credited a flat amount. And it's like $120 fucking dollars. Like seriously, it's like really high amounts. Like a T-shirt is like $6 or some shit. Like, and it's like set like prices. So
yeah, no, I mean it's definitely worth doing if you have like if you need to put some extra like you know credit on there. Fuck yeah, get it in there. I'm too lazy though. I'm just like I did this once and then I have like some Goodwill receipt or something, so I'll just put that on there.
That's why the app is so crucial for me anyways, because obviously like I'm not organized enough. But if it's like kept track of in an app and I can just like convert, like use that to do the taxes, that's reasonable, you know.
Do you use like an Intuit app or something?
I forget the name, but it was literally like an app like made for this. It was like I think it was called Donation Tracker or something, but you just
nice.
like put the shit into a database basically that like can like link to your tax return or whatever.
Did you do your 2020 taxes yet?
Not yet. That is such a long story.
Me either.
The federal government thinks I'm born in 1989 and I'm not. I'm born in 1988. So last year I was told by the federal government to just commit fraud, and like they told me the error and they said just like say this is your birthday this year because we can't figure it out in the pandemic. So this year I haven't like addressed it yet because I kind of like forgot that, and I'm like fuck, I don't know if I should do that a second year if I need to like try to like deal with the Social Security Administration again.
Hey man, you're a year younger. It's all good.
I'm still wondering, like, I think it's quite possible, like, my dad was stoned again and, like, actually forgot what year I'm born. Like, maybe it is 80. It could be 89. Like, it's I always say I'm a late bloomer. I'm not a late bloomer. My parents put the wrong fucking year on it.
That'd be hilarious.
It would actually, like, I'm not like particularly like a late bloomer or whatever, but it would totally make sense if I found that out. I could see it. Like, dude, I fucking knew it. I'm not immature. God.
Did you know in Ethiopia they're actually like 4 years behind us?
In what?
In years. So in Ethiopia right now, it's 2013.
Wait, so like, do I get younger if I go there?
I don't know exactly like the technicalities of what happens, how that works. I don't
around the world like numerous times on the flight or something.
I don't think it's like UTC time or, you know, universal time. I think it's Ethiopian time.
Man, it sounds like they saved more daylight.
They must have. They're like 4 years behind us.
Man, their daylight savings program is killing it.
Seriously, they're saving a lot of days.
We should probably look at what they're doing.
We're becoming old farts over here.
Yeah, really though. Like, can you guys not see Ethiopia is not as old as this anymore?
But I thought that was insane. Like, what's up with that? That's crazy. They're based on the Egyptian calendar or something like that.
So, like, what do I say if I go there and they ask for my birthday?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably impossible to even describe your birthday to them.
Yeah, just be like, yeah, I don't. It's 4 years before this year.
Like, how many years is one moon? No, it's probably a better calendar though. Egyptians like seem to have some shit pretty figured out for how long ago that was. You know, I'm not sure why
the pyramids, like those things still boggle my mind.
Well, me too. Like, why would you ever shape a building in that shape? It's so inefficient of space.
I guess it's stable.
And lean to the side unless you're standing exactly in the center of the thing. Or...
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like a religious thing.
Was it? Like,
I mean, it seems like a temple-y religious thing.
I just thought it was like the only shape they could get to like stand up.
Well, they had houses and shit, I think, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, triangles like are very strong for building, right?
Yeah, super stable.
But then again, they weren't trying to like put something on top of the pyramid, so I don't quite get it.
Well, they put that gold on the top, the gold cap. That shit must have been heavy.
Dude, I bet actually. Yeah. It looked pretty heavy.
No. Gold's really heavy. Like to transport, a bunch of it's like fucking exhausting.
Damn, dude, that's actually a good counterpoint. Like, I know gold takes energy to mine and shit, but that's another counterpoint. Like, how much gas did it take to ship point across the country today?
Yeah, and then also protecting it too, because you're not only shipping it, you're shipping like very valuable goods that you need guns and personnel to protect.
Yeah, man, I really do. So I hate the argument. It's just one of those blatantly like they took it and they ran with it because it was like one of the few notions that was negative about cryptocurrency is the energy usage thing. Like, and I understand it's a lot, obviously, and like they're trying to solve it, but I've never one time seen a comparison of like, this is how much energy was used to mine this much gold. Like, I've never seen that. And I'm pretty sure mining is like a very, very high energy consumption activity, I
wonder what gold mining versus Bitcoin mining will come up with.
As like environmental impacts go, like electricity farming is not one of your worst culprits for like hurting the environment. Fossil fuels are farther up the list for sure. I mean, when like, okay, like one form of mining is like a very highly tuned, expensive, modern piece of machinery that costs a lot of money, and the other form of mining takes dynamite and you blow up mountains and shit.
Yeah. And the thing is, the electricity, at least we can, like, it'll maybe incentivize us to make more clean electricity rather than stick to our fossil fuel electricity.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I mean, that's what we need to do anyway. Stop bitching about how much power things are taking and start making better power.
Yeah, well, they need to, like, I feel like there's still a gap in accessibility for solar. Like, if I'm like a middle upper class, like married couple, like yeah, we can get solar, but like,
yeah,
it'd be like more available in like different levels. Like, you should be able to get like a tiny little solar panel if you want and just contribute that much. It shouldn't have to be like a giant like decision,
Kinda. The thing is, like, so I got a few solar panels in my backyard, and when you plug them into the house, they'll actually like they'll actually hold the house's like holding electricity, which is pretty sweet. And then we'll even put a little bit into the grid. But then when you actually start using anything, it will use electricity. Actually, yeah, no, I like the idea of, but
like, even if you could just discount your bill a little, like, say I live in like a tiny little house with no space, like it should be that like everyone at whatever level possible is getting like a little bit like that's ideal. There are a lot of people like me, like I would love to like do that, but it's so far-fetched because I rent property basically is why.
And you're right, the price for the solar panel and the price to produce the electricity isn't quite there yet. And one of the big limitations too is batteries. Like once batteries get better, we'll be able to store electricity better and be a lot more efficient.
Yeah. So firstly, so my uncle has for like 20 or 30 years lived off the grid, like without like any less amenities. And he has a basement room full of like these giant submarine batteries and solar. So like for 20 or 30 years, he's actually been completely like subsisting like at this house in Georgetown, like up in the mountains a little bit.
Oh, whoa.
Like, you never know like they're off the grid because he has like a rainwater system that's totally effective and like enough of these giant submarine batteries and the space to store them that he can like store enough power to keep it going.
That's
like,
awesome.
Like, there's no downtime. So that's like 20 or 30 years ago. Like my uncle did this without like, no one like taught him how to do this. So I'm not really sure what's like taking the world so long.
No, man, I think the technology is there. It's just a matter of people, like organizing people and just like motivating people, really.
Well, and also like fundamentally the problem is that it took a whole basement room to put the batteries in, like he has a big house and he has like an empty room in the basement to do that with, but most people don't have like even a basement, nonetheless like a spare room in the basement to fill with batteries.
No, definitely. A lot of people are on the rat race, doing the rat race. So
yeah, like how much money has he saved over the years, like not having an electricity bill?
No, yeah, 100%. I'm all about like, sustainability, like getting more energy independence individually. And then, you can free up a lot more energy in the whole grid.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So this is interesting. So compared to Bitcoin, the energy expenditure required to mine gold is higher. So Bitcoin global, it says for Bitcoin, it's about 22 terawatt hours per year, which is about the same as Ireland. And then gold mining is about 132 terawatt hours per year, which is close to Poland. So, yeah.
Wait, is that like normalized or like total values? Like, is that like how much energy it takes at this time to mine as much gold as we do?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just global mining.
How much money is like tied up in gold in like the global economy, if you know what I mean? Like what's like gold as an asset worth?
I think it's about 10 times more than Bitcoin. So it does seem to reflect in the price. But let me see. Gold's market cap. Gold's market cap is 11 trillion. So yeah, Bitcoin's about 1 trillion.
And so it's like actually kind of similar.
Yeah.
Relatively. Yeah. And I swear it's a different country that Bitcoin uses the amount of electricity of every time I like hear this or see it. It was Brazil. Last time I read this, it said like it uses the amount of electricity that Brazil uses, and you said Ireland, and I saw like Portugal. But that is crazy.
Pick your country.
It's like a global asset. It's not really like surprising though to me.
Gold is a global asset too. I'm a little disappointed. It's almost like the value of something is like how much energy it takes.
Like if you think about it, it's just production cost, really. Like
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it all comes down to that. Like even day-to-day decisions. How much energy does it take?
It's interesting.
It's cool.
Actually, gold is technically cheaper per market cap because 10 times 22 is 220. Right. So, yeah.
That's actually surprising. I would think like the computer-based system is like more efficient, in general.
Right.
But I mean, the gold industry has had plenty of technological advances, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's years ahead.
Someone I grew up with is apparently like dredging gold in Alaska now.
Nice. One of my coworkers was into finding gold, and he'd go into like the rivers and stuff and do some dredging and whatnot.
I did like panning like when I was a kid, but like I quickly realized like there's no fucking gold anywhere, so it sucks.
Yeah, it's so lame.
If pyrite didn't exist, it would be like okay, but it looks like you got gold a lot.
Yeah, it's terrible. No fun, man.
No. I have a like I should have grabbed more actually, because like I've seen a lot of silver in thrift stores. I shouldn't be saying this on a podcast. There is like there are gems like for a matter of single dollars that are worth way more just like sitting on thrift store shelves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are like sterling silver bowls just sitting there for a few bucks. Like if you just know what to find.
Oh, geez.
Like sterling, especially every sterling item like has a stamp of like a certification stamp.
Oh.
So like they're usually really fucking tiny and a lot of times like worn off partially, but you can you can see that it's real silver like pretty easily. And you can just get like there's a melt value that's less than the actual value, but it's actually like attainable.
Huh. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. My friend got like 21 grams of silver. Like I told him to go to SPCA, and actually like we like both went there, and like he got this big ass bowl that apparently was solid silver, and he got 21 grams of silver for like $7. Like
How much is that worth?
I don't know. What's an ounce of silver worth?
It's about $25 an ounce.
Okay, so that was like $20 maybe or something.
Nice.
More than that, to be honest.
Well, that's like 400%, 300% game or something.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder, does that say like the grade of the silver? Because that's also a big part of it, I'm sure. One of the highest grades, and there is like a wide array.
I don't know. It just says. I think
that's probably by like your silver amount, like once you melt it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, if silver does go up, it'd be cool to have some. I just looked it up, and every quarter between 1937 and 1964 is worth at least $4.
Every quarter?
Yeah, because they're like real silver. So like, like the ones that aren't like anymore because they're collectible or something, they're just like the raw material value are worth like minimum $4.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is good. And like 1964, like that's not that long ago. You see coins that old. I have a couple pennies from 1932 or something, like 32 and 36, that I just like thought were cool.
Those are like pure copper, right?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know what they're worth. Probably like 25 cents.
Yeah, probably.
I was into coins when I was a kid. Like I randomly found this like little box with like just like old ass coins.
Oh, silver's getting a lot of searches recently.
Silver is like super hyped. Like silver is like supposedly the next big like giant pump in an asset class, because when it does break out, it's gonna like readjust to like the market value when it like loses basically the tie to gold. Kind of like when the US dollar lost the tie to gold, it like massively lost the tie to gold because like whatever they were doing to keep the price correlated broke, and like basically all of like the difference that was hidden before like caught up, if that makes sense, you know?
I mean, I see what you're saying, but like, I don't know, like it's just like these hard assets. I don't see gaining like, crazy value.
The thing is that like look at gold in terms of like I don't know how easy this is to see, but look at like real world consumption of gold versus price and supply, and then look at silver. Like silver has like a massive supply versus demand for the price. Like the price is really, really low.
Yeah.
Because it's like a very used metal is the thing. So like gold is a store of value, and like you can make jewelry and like conductors and stuff, but real world use silver has a lot more.
But I think that could be also because it's been cheaper throughout
Yeah.
time. So if it gets more expensive, it may have less uses.
I haven't like looked at these numbers, but like the supply is not, if you do like a comparison of the ratio, like the supply versus the price versus the demand is very skewed compared to gold. Considering like, look at the price difference. I mean, I don't know like the amount, mined every year of each, but gold is worth how much an ounce? Like 2,000 or something?
Almost 2,000. Yeah, it's about 1,800.
Yeah, and silver's worth $28. That seems a little off.
But see, I think that's because gold's value is inflated because that's what everyone uses as store of value. But I
said that totally could be like the other end of it.
Because maybe gold is actually, not, maybe you can have gold forks and stuff and it's actually reasonable. If it wasn't used as a store of value across the world.
Yeah, so maybe that's probably the other side of the argument. It's like silver might stay around where it is and gold's going to come that far down. That's possible, especially like with any sort of like Bitcoin, any sort of alternative.
But I see what you're saying too, like gold can, like, they're not mutually exclusive necessarily, like they can both, store value and go up.
Yeah, well, and also like kind of like a cause or effect thing, like because the price is very cheap of silver, like you can demand a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, there's like a lot of access and a lot of use for silver right now because for a long time it's been cheap, but it's hard to say, like, it's hard to like make a direct comparison, I guess, because like that going into it, so like you're going to look to silver for that option, and that's really like determining the price.
Let's see.
But really, I think the notion is like whatever way it works out, the notion is just that it's artificially being suppressed, which like I don't have the depth of understanding to know like how or why that works that way. Like, why does silver need to stay in this price ratio to gold to like keep things stable and running, or whatever the goal is?
Gold production. What the fuck? Total cash cost. Yeah, it's $1 per ounce. So
like the raw price, like how much like a silver miner is charging versus a gold miner, like might be actually like different.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of looking up like the cost of production of gold. So
yeah, right, because like
right here it's saying it's about $980 to $1,000 per ounce. I don't know what AISC stands for. For producing gold, and then for silver, it's about $10.56 per ounce.
That's like so like that's hard to correlate, because also like in the same way like gold has the funding to like be mined with different methods and different, you know what I mean? Like I wonder if actually like if you took money out of the situation and you had technology, I wonder like how much easier it is to mine gold versus silver, or if it's just abundancy, maybe like silver is that much more abundant.
Yeah, I think it must be. I think silver just is a lot easier to get your hands on.
But again, that's because we like used all the gold, so like it's hard to stay.
Yeah, we have a bunch stored in banks.
Yeah, and also like like gold, I guess it's not going down in value, but like in terms of like percentage yields and like relative returns, gold is like steadily declining in performance for a while now.
What is gold been doing?
I know that like gold is like one of the most abandoned asset classes of 2020. And also like everything pretty much like did well in 2020 also, so gold was like definitely the worst performer.
Well, back in 1974, it was about $100 for an ounce of gold.
That's not really like, I mean, I don't know if that's good growth, but I was dead in that time, so I mean, still though, that's probably considered good growth. It's so hard to like,
honestly, so I mean, that's only 10 times, essentially like 10 times growth, 10x.
10x in like 50 fucking years.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. But again, like you don't, that's why it's hard to determine, like the notion of having to sell is like a big part of this, you know, like you only lose money on an appreciating asset when you have to sell it at the wrong time, you know?
Right.
So like it's hard to say like what the risk is if like you go into it without having like a reliance on, or without even like allowing yourself the option of doing that. Like you shouldn't take losses. Anything could be a pretty good investment. That's my logic. Like I can live with $0, but if I like have cryptocurrency like growing, then I'll be okay. I think
the only reason
out there like have a fortune of cryptocurrency and they're homeless and they just won't sell that shit.
I could imagine that.
It's like, no, I'm gonna be rich one day. Like, dude, you're fucking homeless. Come on, man.
Get over it, man.
Like, but you know how much money I'm gonna make? When? I don't know.
I think, yeah, the only reason to sell would be for something like that, or you just don't believe in a coin anymore for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like if you just like think it's gonna go down, you know, like.
But the thing is, I like, for me at least, even if I think something's going to go down, I still probably wouldn't sell because I don't really know if something's going to go down or not.
And that's where dollar cost averaging like really is magic.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even and I thought that's how it worked. I didn't verify, but I believe like you can do it on any time interval and it should be effective as long as it's not like too fast.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just like
work over a week or a day or like an hour. And like I did it like at 10 minutes and it totally seemed to work.
Yeah.
And then you just avoid the problem of what we're talking about, which is like no one could predict the price that well.
Right. For me, like I'm of the opinion that the whole thing I'm bullish on the whole thing. Right. So whenever I put it in, if I'm flipping a coin, you know, like more often than not, I'll be right just because of the market.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's where like your skill at technical analysis or just like market prediction matters so immensely. You know?
Yeah, but then again, it's like a skill, right? It's like an art skill. It's like a not fully fleshed out skill. It's kind of like luck and skill. It's like Monopoly or something.
It's like the college in science. It's like but like it still takes some magic.
Okay, so before we should probably end this pretty soon. It's like, how long has it been? I don't know. Huh?
It's not 5 a.m. yet.
I know, right? Damn, that was long. But so let's just say like, what's your top 3 coins for the next month?
Based on like my gut?
Based on your gut, your heart.
Based on past performance?
Based on your gut, your mind, your technical analysis, all of it mixed together.
I'm not even going to use technical analysis because like, really I don't have the skill to like even call it valid.
For sure. Fair enough.
Well, like real actual technical analysis. I'm just like going by trends. But in terms of like gut feeling and what I've seen, I think VeChain is going to be very strong.
Okay.
And VeChain is one of those where like if it pulls off what it's describing, like that's going to be something that's like widely used and sticks around. And I feel like things like that don't really get competition. Like if you become like Amazon's shipping network, like you don't have to worry about like a competitor coming in because you're Amazon's shipping network or whatever. So VeChain I feel pretty good about.
Internet of Things technology to create an ecosystem which solves some of the major problems with supply chain management. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a very like cool concept and like very necessary because basically like comparing it to Amazon again, I consider Amazon's success to be like their shipping structure.
Yeah.
That's why Amazon is so successful is like what they did in that world. Amazon Prime is like absolutely amazing to me. Even like the 1-day shipping is like absurd to this day that you can do it. Like I can wake up and I can order something by not even that early in the morning and like get it that day with like random fucking items, like 1,000 of them. It's like absurd.
That's pretty crazy.
And it all totally relies on like really insane logistics of like where you're storing all of your things, you know? And I don't even know like where you would begin doing that, but it's with software, I'm sure.
So that's kind of what VeChain is part of. That has to do with the supply chain, like inventory and stuff.
It's supposed to be like all inclusive, it's supposed to connect like the supply chain, like the base supply to the supply chain to the like end supply and whatever like other steps are involved. It's supposed to be able to like basically like as a business enable you to like see and have control over like the entire chain of your supply.
That sounds cool, man.
Yeah. And like all shipments would be tracked like from the origin and stuff, like cool stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds like relevant for weed, you know, like selling weed or something.
Really. And that shipping container, like the whatever Evergreen or Evergiven VeChain like became much more active when that occurred. I think took an interest in the fact that shipping was such a big deal. I was amazed by that. I'm like, holy shit, dude, one ship can affect the global economy. Like,
yeah, that was kind of a whole entertainment thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, make a bigger canal. Jesus.
All right. So for one of my coins, I'm going to go with Ethereum.
You can't be kidding.
Just because it's easy and obvious and it's doing
So much
okay right now.
It's also like it is like the foundation. Like besides Bitcoin being what it is, like everything is like.
And I think there's some rollouts coming on a lot of things with Ethereum. So
Yeah, well,
like Uniswap v3.
Yeah, well, even all of the like the other like Cardano and stuff, they still like absolutely rely on the existence and popularity of Ethereum to exist. Like, but Ethereum like it doesn't give a shit if Cardano exists or not.
Right.
You know.
Wait, so why does Cardano care if Ethereum exists?
Because like the interest in using Cardano is still based on the popularity of ERC20 tokens.
You
know, like you can like create your own blockchain and like function without the Ethereum blockchain, but that's only because people want to use your blockchain to trade essentially like ERC20 tokens somehow, you know, like that's basically the goal.
Gotcha.
Like for some people, obviously Cardano has other uses, but I mean for like you and I, like if I go onto another blockchain to do something, it's just to try and convert a currency that's used on ERC or that's an ERC20 token for less money or less fees, you know?
Interesting. Yeah, no, they're like ERC20 tokens are definitely like its own ecosystem. And like, it's weird, like it's harder to trade across those coins, like go from BNB ecosystem to ERC20 ecosystem.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
What BNB is doing is like, all it wants to do is trade Ethereum tokens or Ethereum coins, you know? like without the popularity and use of like Ethereum, what would Binance be? Because like most or all of the currencies that they're trading are Ethereum tokens.
Yeah, it's a lot of wrapped stuff and
like they're all running on the Ethereum like blockchain, you know.
Binance has its own blockchain, I thought. No?
But they're just replicating the whole thing. Like that's essentially all they're doing. Like like that, as I understand it, all Binance has done is built a database with the Binance version of every single thing that exists on Ethereum.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's why like, you're basically converting from like when you send a token to Binance from like Coinbase, it's doing its own conversion to a Binance version of that coin. And then
really?
And then if you go, because they're not even compatible, like Binance has Binance coins, so like it's all like seamless, and you don't like see this being done, but functionally like you can't take your currency from Binance and do anything with it unless Binance converts it back to Ethereum or ERC20 token.
Yeah, that was my frustration with it, with Trust Wallet at least.
Yeah, I don't like the notion of like that, because Binance could totally like that as a private company, it could fail or whatever. Like it could become greedy or whatever the hell.
Corrupt or whatever it wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Print its own BNB tokens, right?
What?
Print its own BNB, Binance BEP tokens.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they could just like close their doors one day, like whatever, anything could happen. And the whole notion of this is like for that not to be the risk. So it's kind of just counterintuitive. And I understand we're not going to be decentralized fully. Like that's probably not even realistic, but there's a spectrum.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hybrid, right? You'll have like this and that, and you'll have a mixture of things.
Yeah, like you have these swaps. Like the swaps are like a company, essentially, like they're making money, and you're using them, but like they don't own any of your assets.
So any decentralized exchanges you're thinking is going to be good in the next month?
Uniswap is supposed to, and like I've heard a lot about Uniswap v3. I know it's kind of just a race, and like the amount of competition and the amount of like platforms that are supposedly on the verge of a breakthrough that's going to make the difference of whether it's the most used platform or not is too many. It's like how many are supposedly like just about to solve the issue of gas costs and blah 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 blah. There's just a lot of redundancy, and like the whole notion is that whichever one does it is going to be the dominant one. So that's not like a smart way to invest, in my opinion, is like 5 competitors when one in the long run is going to be the successful one. When you have things like the Graph, or like Band or Chainlink or Cosmos.
What do you think is gonna take like win in the long run, decentralized exchange wise?
I think that if a gasless DEX really just occurred, which like it did, I think like none of them are long for this world unless they adapt. Because really, like it's like I was saying to you, like why the hell is anyone using an exchange with a fee when you can use one without a fee? Really
I don't understand. Like to do a swap of Ethereum, you're gonna spend $50 worth of Ethereum.
Like I had heard that, and I thought it was more relative. Like I thought if I wanted to like send $5,000 of Ethereum, that might happen. But no, if you, like $50 of Ethereum, you spend $50 fucking dollars to send it.
Right.
So that was a deal breaker. Like I just was like, that's not even realistic. But as soon as that's solved, which is like when they switch to proof of stake, it's not gonna even use gas. Like it's going to be completely resolved essentially.
And I think that's Uniswap's plan.
Yeah. So like, but all of these things that are like relying on the gas costs being high are about to have a serious problem.
That's what Uniswap is saying though for their V3. They're trying to do it with Ethereum's proof of stake.
Right.
Rollout.
Yeah. So, but the problem there is like Ethereum's proof of stake rollout is going to apply to all Ethereum. So I think like as long as
take forever.
As long as like also just as long as the capabilities there for Uniswap to do it, I think that means like every other swap is also going to be able to do it. So
for sure, yeah.
Maybe they'll be the front runner. Like I think that's like basically like, that's what people are watching for. It's like one of them to like take the lead because they're all kind of like it's like a nail biter right now.
And then So I'm with you on Uniswap. I'm kind of bullish on Uniswap,
Here's
just
the thing,
because
like,
they're the leader right now.
I've used other swaps though, and they are all the fucking same.
Right,
So that's
right.
like you have Uniswap that's the most popular, but like there are 5 different things that are the same thing. So even if Uniswap's the dominant one, like that's not like ideal.
I think that sort of like the dominance of numbers
Right.
makes a big difference, just because that's what the value in it is being able to trade with other people. So like the more people that are on it, the more valuable it is.
Yeah, right. Like the liquidity pool thing, you mean?
Having liquidity, yeah, just like, being able to trade with people. The more people that's on the trade, the more volume that's moving around, the more action that everyone's going to get.
But like this is what I worry about anyways, is like liquidity might be like gas fees. Like that might be on the verge of like being resolved. I'm just not sure like banking on things that like are ultimately like undesirable is a good strategy.
What do you mean banking on things that are undesirable?
Like if you're trying to like base your platform on making a gasless DEX because gas fees are high, but gas fees are about to go down, that's not a good long-term plan.
Well, I mean, gasless is still less than lower gas fees. It's still an improvement. So maybe it could be a long-term plan.
Well, I mean, like longer term, really. Like gasless is obviously going to be what wins, like versus any fee, right?
Yeah.
So, like, unless you have like some reason it's advantageous other than that, like, it might take time, but there's no way to argue that like people are going to pay fees when they don't have to. you know. So
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think at some point it's going to get to a point where the fees will be very small, and there's going to be a lot of people earning stable incomes off of providing liquidity for other people to do trades or whatever they want to do.
Well, that's like something I haven't encountered because gas fees are too high to even try. Is like liquidity for me on the exchanges I'm using, like it's not an issue, but obviously it's like a big issue that like has to be taken care of. But it hasn't affected me. I haven't run into an issue with liquidity. So.
But we have issues with fees, right? We don't like the high fees.
Exactly.
So
exactly right. Yeah,
I think proof of stake, man, that's going to be a game changer, and because Stellar, Cosmos, Tezos, I haven't transferred too much Algorand, but those all transfer really well, very cheaply. All proof of stake.
Tron is really cheap. EOS is really cheap, and those are like very cheap. Like it's like I'm not bothered by it. Obviously, I'd rather not, but like compared to the gas fees, it's like not even close.
Not even close. I mean, I think even compared to normal like transferring of money, it's like pennies or less than a penny sometimes.
Yeah, it is. But also like that's something that's becoming free more and more often. Like PayPal is generally free, like if you're sending money to friends and family.
Right. But then you don't get, it's not a true settlement. It's not true instant settlement. It's like a 2 to 3 day thing before the actual transaction goes through.
Mine is instant. Oh, you mean like from my like account or whatever? Like
the clearing part of it, yeah.
But like the person you send it to gets it. But
yeah, everyone gets it, but it's all credit based.
Yeah, no, that's bitten me in the ass before when I didn't know that with PayPal.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention and like you don't have extra money,
you'll over withdraw and you'll get that fucking penalty and fuck.
Yeah, and this is what I actually learned is they will overdraft or they will attempt to like take the funds 3 consecutive times. So you get 3 overdraft fees in a row.
I think that happened to Sachin.
Yeah, it was like I was pissed, dude. I'm like, you can't, I don't have the money. You already tried the first time.
Yeah.
And she like the answer is like, no, actually legally it's 3.
It's like a punishment.
Yeah. And they just happen like instantly. It's not like there's like a chance between like 1, 2, and 3. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that is very fucked up.
That's where like there are definitely times I'm like, you know what? This is why we need fucking Bitcoin. Like
yeah.
An arrangement with this goddamn bank and they're splitting these profits. Like
so what for the final I wanted to ask you, yield farming. what is your take on yield farming, and are you looking at any coins in particular for yield farming?
I do not know enough about yield farming to comment, but it sounds like a good concept. I have not tried.
Like the idea of the concept. I don't know exactly what it is either, but it's like it seems like it's some sort of stake thing where the coin itself will stake in whatever will get it the best staking return. And then
it's like a market maker protocol, like, right? Is that the same thing?
Let me double check here what it says.
Like it's running like an algorithmic like index fund almost for you, like if you think about it.
I think so.
It's like it's basically like picking. It's like an index fund is ideally like a rounded list of like of stocks or whatever. So I guess you have more than one at a time. But
so Yearn Finance is one of the oldest liquidity mining things. And
yeah, I think these are the same thing. Which, like, when I hear that, when I just hear those words like market maker protocol, I'm like, that's gotta work.
Yeah, and yield investing or yield farming. It sounds just like, oh yeah, clearly.
Well, I do wonder why, like I mean, I understand it's not enough of it maybe to work, but like you would think technical analysis at this point is not something you like do with the naked eye and like your emotions. Like you would think it's like you pull up a graph and it's like, this is a blah, 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 this is a blah, 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 and like shows you the shapes. And then you can like decide how likely they are. But I'm surprised it's not there yet. Because that's like, just like we definitely have the technology to do that.
Yeah, no, I feel like AI, or at least, you can get something going with that.
I mean, they're just graphs, like the graph features, like it's not even negotiable. And that's the problem with people doing it is like these features, like if it says like a head and shoulders, like have you seen that term, like, or like a reverse head and shoulders? It's like a shape of like a part of like a bar graph or whatever. And it can't have like one imperfection or like technical analysis does not apply. And people like, it'll be like close, but like there's this one little dip here, like in the shoulder of like the head and shoulders. And that means the entire thing's done. You can't like say, oh, it's like most of the way there because it's fucking math. Like that's not how graphs work. Like,
yeah.
So like all the YouTubes you see, they're like, yeah, it pretty much like made a like an ascending triangle. And it's like, no, you don't pretty much like do any of these things. So it'd be nice to have a computer just like pop them out because they're just like shapes on a linear graph. It'd be super easy.
Yeah, if I ever do any trading or something like that, definitely gonna be automated. Like it's too much to deal with.
It's like it's one of those things like you can make your life a lot easier with like a little bit of effort now, or you can put like less effort in forever.
Yeah, forever.
Like fighting fires versus preventing them, I guess.
Right. So, Yearn Finance is an aggregator service for decentralized finance investors using automation to allow them to maximize profits from yield farming. So it uses some sort of automation. I'm not sure exactly. Its goal is to simplify the ever-expanding DeFi space for investors who are not technically minded or wish to interact. Yeah, it kind of sounds like a mutual fund of like, for the DeFi space. Yeah.
So that's where I guess you would need some coding knowledge to decide what you think of like the individual ones. But like I definitely trust them to do a better job than I can.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like their graph.
Yearn, like I bought actually like at a peak and like it was kind of weird. It was right about the price of Bitcoin. And then it like went way down and I was super pissed off at Yearn Finance because I thought I got like scammed. But now it's like actually pretty healthy again.
Did you,
I knew not to buy
like February 20th?
I know it was like $43,000 or something.
For sure, yeah.
But
and then it dipped to 30, but now it's now it's like 41. It went up to 53 for a minute. It was up at 53 for a sec.
Yeah, that's when I got my money out.
Nice.
Like, it's so nice when you just get a little profit and then it like when there's a crash you're just like, oh thank God I did that.
Phew, dodge that bullet.
That's basically what I'm every day doing during this horrible time is like just like browsing my coins, like, oh, cool, good, you got some there.
It sucks when the opposite happens though, and you sell a bunch of coins and then it goes up.
Yeah, it really sucks. And like I end up being really neurotic. I'm like, God damn it, like it's fluctuating between like $50,100 and $50,300. I'm trying to get it for $50,100. Dude, just buy the shit.
Yeah, no, it's funny how much I'll be tripping about like $1 when it's just like, just buy the fucking thing, dude. It's just a fucking dollar.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, it's 50,000 before that. So like, that's how the altcoins get you too. You're like, look at that thing. It's like 1 millionth of a penny. Like, how could I lose money?
That's the trick with Open or Safe Moon. They made their coins like like a lot of coins. So when you buy it, you're buying millions of coins.
Oh, that's like wait, they stole my shit. I already have a coin that does that. It's not popular at all.
It's marketing, man. Marketing's key.
Look it up. It's like the same fucking, it's called Mars something. It was the cheapest coin on gate.io. So cheap. And like the whole notion is, I think it said it's like an experiment. And like, yeah, you should read it. I don't remember. Remember
I bought a little bit of Pundi X or something, because it was the lowest, it was the highest market cap, but the smallest like denomination. So I got a bunch of that, but then I made a profit and then I just sold it. But yeah, I was like, yeah, this is weird.
I think
it's been doing pretty well.
They like split, and now there are 2 different Pundi X tokens, I think.
Oh, dude, that's what's up.
Dude, that's what's gotten me before, like in with Decentraland. The whole time I've been like, man, I thought Decentraland was like really gonna like be a thing, like, and it's doing fine, but it hasn't like exploded at all. And there's another fucking token.
No, it had a run. It had a serious run like 3 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, it went up to like 150 from $1, like pretty recently. But like for a while, it was just like holding around $1, and like, I mean, like I thought it was gonna like jump like way up, like as like conceptually, I thought it was like undervalued.
It was that.
So there's another token though that's used on that platform. There's Mana, and then there's like Myota or whatever. And Myota's price has like performed better, and I didn't even know it existed. So like,
Myota? You mean IOTA?
Oh, it's like I think it's MIOTA.
Oh, there's IOTA, and it's called the coin is called Myota. That's fucking weird, dude.
Well, so look up Myota, and I think it's like the other currency used on the Decentraland, like in the Decentraland world. And
Myota and IOTA are the same thing.
Okay, but that's what they are, right?
Distributed foundation, greater speeds, ideal footprint, Internet of Things.
Okay, yeah, it's on the Decentraland thing, right? I don't understand what these Internet of Things are. Not these Internet of Things, what these Internet of blanks are. Like, there's Internet of value and Internet of things. But it seems like they're all just on the Internet. Right? What is Internet of Things? Like could you like describe that briefly?
So Internet of Things is like Alexa connected to your house, connected to your air conditioner, connected to your car. Like everything's connected and can talk to each other and is like smart.
So like, is it just a bad title? It doesn't seem to describe what's going on to call it the Internet of Things.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's just like a bunch of things are on the internet and talking to each other.
like I don't get why that's the term. The Internet of Things and stuff, you know?
Things, man, things.
Things and stuff are both.
That's the technical term, things.
Yeah. Well, I like to do things and I like to get stuff. The 2 very important aspects of life.
Yeah, doing things, getting stuff, eating things and stuff.
Yeah, eat things, consume stuff. Buy stuff with things you can.
And waste things, throw away things and stuff.
Yeah.
Store stuff.
And yeah.
Organize your things.
Your things if you want, you know.
Bitcoin's in 49 again.
God damn it. Actually, so I've been waiting for it to like go down more so I could just say that I did something good.
So that you could wait for the dip.
Got it all back at the same price. So, like, it wouldn't matter, but
so you literally like sold, you like dollar cost averaged out and bought back in, but it was pretty much like the same price.
So yeah, it went under 50 and I dollar cost averaged out between like 49 and 50. And then like very shortly after I was finished, it jumped just above 50 and I was like, fuck, it's gonna go up. And I just like bought back dollar cost average in, and it like didn't, like it was actually within like $10 in one way or the other, in one direction or the other of like where I started. It was,
nice.
It was very remarkable that it ended up, because it looked like I like got worse deals on buying in, but then I looked at the total. I'm like, that's the same fucking amount. Cool.
All right, and my last prediction for this month is going to be Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin is going to do some work this month.
You think it's going to like continue on its road to success or whatever?
I think it's going to be a roller coaster as it has been, but I think it's going to do another shoot up. And
like it needs a team and like a like reason to be here. Like other than obviously there's the sentiment, but like to continue its success.
So apparently there is a team, like there is a team working on it that's like actively, developing it and making it keep up with Bitcoin's developments and stuff. Apparently.
That's what I didn't know. And you'll see that like it doesn't have any developers, but like obviously it was developed. So I didn't know if they're like active or not, but they should like take this opportunity and like adapt Dogecoin and they could totally be successful. But I think like if nothing changes about it, I do not think it will take hold. I think people get bored. I think people get bored very quickly, like just like GameStop.
It was let's see. Billy Marcus from Portland and Jackson Palmer from Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, so like if it still has a development team, they should totally take this opportunity, and like I would see no reason Bitcoin doesn't like do something, or Dogecoin doesn't do something like positive. But if Dogecoin just stays Dogecoin, I think in like 2 weeks to a month, people are entirely bored of it and it's gone again.
Hey, Billy Marcus is a third connection. That's pretty close, I guess. That's kind of cool.
Billy Marcus.
He's the creator of Dogecoin.
Oh, I thought Elon Musk created Dogecoin.
No, it was two people who worked at Adobe, I think.
I wonder if they like still like, I don't know how these things work. Like, do they still have control of Dogecoin? Like, I know it's not autonomous, but like, can you sell Dogecoin?
I think they actually sold most of their stake. They still have some, but I think they sold most of their stake.
Well, but like, who owns? Like, who calls the shots? Really? Like it's not like it's entirely shareholder owned.
This I am not clear about. I think.
Could I buy enough Dogecoin that like I get to decide what we do with Dogecoin? Like, I don't think that's how it works.
I think it has more to do with miners.
So who mines Dogecoin and how do they do that?
I think there's pools and like also you can like mine it individually with a badass computer rig or something.
You can do Dogecoin with like proof of work or whatever.
Dogecoin is proof of work. It's the same thing as Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like a fork of Litecoin.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's why like, so I am wondering if it's true that Litecoin like will just residually go up, even if like you can't see it directly. Like Dogecoin might just translate to Litecoin, like as people decide like they want to get into more cryptos and like Doge isn't making sense.
Definitely. Yeah.
Naturally, like trend towards Litecoin after this.
And then I've heard about a lot of things going on Litecoin's rails. Like Litecoin is making rails for things to go on. And I wish I understood that more. Is Dogecoin on like running on Litecoin rails because there was a fork on Litecoin? So that kind of makes sense.
Well, so I think you can have like a partial fork where you're running on basically the same like build or whatever as like Dogecoin is like in essence the same thing as Litecoin, or you can have a fork where like Dogecoin wanted to change something, so it like forked and then altered whatever, and now it's like that. So like there are two different, as I understand, like those are two different types of forking. There's like forking because you agree in like the path the currency should take. And then there's forking like that to just like recreate it with like a different title and a different economy or whatever.
Well, I friended, or I'm trying to connect with Billy Marcus on LinkedIn, and then it looks like Jackson Palmer, the other guy, he still works for Adobe.
DOGE? Did you say he works for Adobe?
Adobe, Doji.
I mean, like, I'm not sure. So this is like also something I'm not clear on. Like, where do they get? I guess like it says this in like the specs for a coin, but like, how much of like the $40 billion market cap like goes to someone that's like not selling it or buying it? You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Like when Dogecoin jumped up to a $40 billion market cap, like, did those dudes make money?
I mean, it's all gains, right? It's unrealized unless you sell it.
You're trading it, right? Like, because like you would think a developer team, I understand this is like not decentralized, but you would think like when the market cap goes up like that of a coin, like it affects positively the like development team in some way, right?
Yeah, because usually the development team would have a large stake in the coin.
So it's only if you're holding the currency.
I would imagine so, yeah. Or you're getting maybe paid by the company that holds the currency. Oh.
Yeah, I guess there's that. You would think, I mean, some of them you can see it. It says like the funds flow or whatever, like what percentage it's going to where. So actually, that's a good way to spot. Like there are some like very suspicious altcoins because they say like 75% of it'll be like private funding or something, and it doesn't even explain. And it's like blatantly like someone's just like taking this money.
There's a lot of VC money in the altcoin area, like a lot of just like fast money moving around.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean about like I guess maybe it would make sense you only get money from the currency because really it's just like money just moving in and out of these things. It's not, I mean, there's also added value, but like the reason like they're swinging like this, it's not like this much money went in and out of cryptocurrencies. It's just like the buying and selling and like ebb and flow of like a certain amount of money almost. Like now there's a money going into it recently, but like
I think there's overall just like money going into it, just overall.
Yeah, but say like for conversation's sake, you just like cut that supply off, the prices would still like fluctuate up and down.
It would fluctuate, but you
like that would be healthy in the long run. But my point is like you can have price fluctuation without like money leaving or entering the system, like a lot of it. And that's
definitely. And you could even see consolidation too. So like if coins like come together, I don't know if that's even possible, but
consolidation is something I don't actually understand. Like I haven't really looked into like what's going on exactly. But I think it's like, isn't it just like the bid, like the price spread basically like getting narrower?
Well, when I say consolidation, I just mean like maybe a coin goes out and so all that money goes to another coin.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah, or like, you know, when a company buys another company, like
you mean like the actual like literal definition of consolidation?
Yeah.
But there's also the term for, and I'm sure it's like the same meaning somehow, but like, you know what I mean, for a technical analysis term, like a price will like, it'll like pump up high and then it'll consolidate, quote unquote.
Yeah,
sure. Like it's moving sideways for a while. So I'm not sure like why that's called consolidating.
Correction, consolidate. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I don't, like correction makes sense because it's overbought. So like the price corrects to like what the more accurate value is, but I'm not sure what consolidation is describing.
Maybe like everyone's portfolio is like what they want it to be or something, and then it's like,
I mean, it could be,
or maybe the price becomes what it's like supposed to be, or wants to
you know
be.
what it might be? It's like the first, because it's basically like it's getting, the spread between the highs and lows is getting narrower during consolidation. So maybe
Okay.
like obviously on the first price fluctuation, you have like the highest amount of buys and sells, and then like basically like you have people still trying to get in on that, like, but less people like each time essentially, or each like time period. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that makes sense if the
Like
price.
I just get word late and I still go and I sell it, but it's been 3 days since like the first wave, so it's like less and less people essentially getting their orders in until like the price changes because of whatever. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what you were describing about the spread getting smaller and smaller makes sense for consolidation, because it's like the price isn't as like spread out. It's consolidating more to a particular price. So that kind of makes sense.
Which means like actually that the price is more accurate or precise or whatever, one of those two.
Less volatile.
Yeah. Well, if there's like a lower spread between the ask price and the bid price, that means like that it is like a more accurate reflection of like the real price, you know?
Sure.
Even though like they might average out to be like the same price, but that means like that the people, that means basically essentially everyone's getting what they're asking for instead of like something higher or lower.
Right. But I would also say that also, I think, I'm not sure, but I think it would have to be less volatile as well for something like that to be the case.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like when less volatile?
For a consolidation to take place, that would probably mean like points of low volatility.
You mean like it's lowering in volatility, like during the consolidation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that is the idea, is like because of the initial fluctuation, like it, I don't know, you could say like it got out of balance or whatever, and then it's like bouncing back out.
Right.
I think it's supposed to normally like build it into a support level is the idea, which would also make sense.
Yeah, this whole idea of support levels is interesting.
I like the concept of support and resistance, even though like it's the same way of technical analysis. You're like, but it did this time. Like, but like you do see like constantly like it's like you can believe it if you watch, because you saw like what Bitcoin did. It just bounced off 60,000 for like 3 weeks, and then like it broke above 60,000 and it didn't go back below 60,000 until like a major change again. You know?
Sure, sure.
Like that's why I started to see it as like you see the flip of like resistance will become support or vice versa. Like that's what made it like really obvious to me, is like seeing those points. Because like if you look at a long term of a graph, it's super fucking obvious, because you see like the tops of like a number of peaks at a level, and then you suddenly see like the bottom of a bunch of them at the same level in later in time. But why?
I don't know. I feel like our brains will make patterns when we look at graphs, but like when it's in the past, it's easy to see a pattern, but when it's in the future, it's hard to predict the pattern.
Yeah, and that's why it's kind of like the whole concept is like, yeah, this is like probably going to happen. It's really most likely, but you know, anything could happen. So I'm not wrong.
Right.
Like I want to see actual numbers. Like it's probably out there. Like how many times when like this feature pops up on a graph, is it like right? You know?
Right.
It's probably really fucking low, dude. Like, because if it was anywhere high, like they would be more talked about and used.
Yeah, especially if things are like sure things like that. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, it's like these are like they're like shapes of a graph. Like you can't draw them. One of the first things I read about technical analysis was like if every single feature of this is not like as described, like then none of it is accurate. It's not like there are like portions of these things. So that's where people actually, like a lot of people in cryptocurrency are not using it correctly, because they'll say like things like that's pretty much this, and that's not how it works.
Right. It's like
I want to do the
invalid.
Head and shoulders there, but like there's just the one little thing, so we're close.
Wishful thinking. It's easy to do that.
Yeah, but that is why when a real one pops up, like that's like considered a strong indicator, like it's like usually big news, because like they're not actually like that common when they're like actually there. Usually they're just close and people like try to like think them into existence.
Right.
But What's crazy about technical analysis is like the same concepts hold true in any market in any point in history. Like markets like be it the stock market or like the rice market 2000 years ago, they have the same concept of technical analysis.
Yeah, I like the idea that like there's, natural patterns, and it's kind of like the idea of fractals, like the patterns we see like on smaller scales can be translated to the larger scales as well. And so you can like see the patterns, and so you can maybe even like use numbers to calculate like what patterns are going to be. But like, again, that's all like, if something really actually worked, then I feel like we just heard about it.
Talking about, yeah. But also like it's not debatable. It's a mathematical expression of human impulse. Because like you're saying, it's only like the past. So you're like graphing points. It's not like debatable. So like we have like a mathematical representation of like how human impulse functions in an economy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's useful. I don't know if it's like applicable, but like that is a cool concept.
Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of statistics comes down to how you analyze it. And so analyzing can be, I guess it's tricky. I don't really know, honestly, but
like it would, if you took human impulse out, actually, like I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe technical analysis would be like a hard, like it would work every single time, but you can never, even if it's like small or large, the degree like human emotion is influencing it. So it's like not that correct, but I think mathematically it's sound, like because you're graphing. So
yeah, I'd imagine there's some interesting AI experiments going on with cryptocurrency markets and trading.
I gotta wonder like how many people are out there just with like an automated thing running their buys and sells, because it doesn't seem that far-fetched.
No, not at all, especially
like,
with cryptocurrency.
Level, like if you buy at this level, sell, like stop loss here, like just perpetually up, like just set it and forget it. I feel like that could be one of those things like, yeah, no one's talking about it because they're like, shut the fuck up, don't say that out loud. Like,
yeah. That could be something interesting to check out on the next podcast. Hopefully, I can get someone who's maybe like semi-experienced or expert in the blockchain or, the area, so we can ask them questions or something like that.
It'd be sweet if someone like see if like your Charles guy will do it. Like someone just see if like Charles Cardano will do it. Just say it'd be nice if like someone was like willing to step down to that level, because like a lot of new people are getting involved, and like it's easy to understand like what blockchain is basically, but like that's about where it stands for most people.
Yeah.
Kind of digging past that because it gets advanced like pretty quickly for like the average person.
Yeah. Even like discussing here was like we were going into territory where it was like, ooh. Not sure what I'm talking about, but let's just go. Let's go.
Yeah. Like when I describe to somebody who doesn't know like what a blockchain is, like I sound like I know a lot, and then it very quickly hits like a cutoff where I'm like, and that's about where I stop talking.
And that's where I stop.
How were the blocks made initially? Oh, they're just hanging out. Like how did Satoshi, like did he hit a big button? Like go, like here's Bitcoin? I don't get it.
Do you know what SHA-256 is?
No.
So that's one of the like basic building blocks of the cryptography behind the blockchain. And it's basically, it takes any information, like basically any input, and will make a unique output of 256 bits.
Okay.
And if you change any single little bit of data in the input, the output will be completely different. So
so I have that understanding. I didn't know it was like in bits though. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's how the blocks are labeled. They're labeled and it'll like do a SHA-256 for the blockchain, and it'll, and I think that's what the machines check when they decrypt stuff, something like that.
So like, as I understand it, like in layman's terms, like each new block that's being created contains all of the exact same identical content of every single block before it. Does that make sense?
It should. Then, yeah, it should be.
And then whatever is accumulating, and then the next block contains all of that. So effectively, like each new block contains all of the information from every block before then. And each time you add a transaction, it verifies with each block that it's all the same, right?
That I don't know. I think it's because I think
right?
I think one of the big differences between Bitcoin and Ethereum is that Bitcoin is it tracks the change in value, and then Ethereum tracks the total value. Okay. So I don't think Bitcoin for the new block, I don't think it copies all the old blocks onto the new block. I think the new block is like the changes.
Well, so you're not copying all the old blocks, you're only copying the last block, but the last block contains the content of every block before it because each one's been copied. You know what I mean? So like you only effectively are copying like the last block, but that block has all of the information from all the ones before it. Does that make sense?
It must be the case though, because like how else are you going to check if all the transactions are good? You have to have the whole, check the whole history, right? So
yeah, and that's like why the blockchain works, I think, is like redundancy, basically, as I understand it, with like basic knowledge.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a bunch of machines doing the same thing, and then whichever one does it first with the longest chain wins.
Yeah, and what they're doing, as I understand it, I think, is like they are going through like the blockchain or whatever and verifying that like whatever is in the current block is congruent with like all of, or the last block, I guess, because that block was verified to be all of the blocks before it.
Right. And my understanding of that is that they're verifying the hash that is on the last block or something like that.
Right. Well, yeah, there's like math. Like, I don't understand the validators. Like, I don't even know what they're exactly doing. Like, I know it's math. It's like difficult math and you need a lot of processing power, but I don't know what it's doing.
Right. And then there's a number of zeros like ahead of the hash that determine its difficulty.
Okay.
So that has something to do with it too. So like when they want the network to be more difficult, they'll add a zero on that.
Well, isn't it also more difficult as the block?
Huh?
Isn't it also like increasingly difficult as the block is more towards being finished, is more complete, or something like that?
I'm not sure. I think difficulty is more just a function of how much demand, how much computing power is on the blockchain, or how much computing power there is. So when there's more computing power, it'll get more difficult, and then when there's less computing power, it'll get less difficult.
But there's only one block at a time, right? Like,
yeah, one block per 10 minutes for Bitcoin.
But globally, like that's it, right?
That's it.
So,
and then Bitcoin Cash is one block per minute or something. And that's the only difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash is the block time.
Well, and the minimum transaction.
I think that's just a result of the block time.
Oh, that could be true. Yeah.
And network, there's just more. It's more expensive to do stuff on the Bitcoin network, I guess, because there's more validating taking place. I don't know.
I think also Bitcoin Cash like has a developer team, and they like wanted it to be able to do lower minimum transactions. So I'm not sure.
Well, that was the guy, right? The one of the guys who was like really pro Bitcoin Cash he was talking about how the transaction fee should be like not as high. So the idea was to make the block time a lot shorter so it could process more transactions.
Are you worried about the fees or the minimum transaction? Because what I saw was that the minimum transaction is too large for the like the everyday person.
Isn't that because of the fees though?
No, it's because, well, I mean, I'm not sure. I don't want to say no, but I thought it was just like the programming of Bitcoin, I thought was why, but I'm not sure if.
No, I think theoretically you could send a teeny amount of Bitcoin, but you're going to be paying for it. You're going to be paying $10 to send a teeny amount.
Okay, that could be true. And I don't, this isn't verified, but it was like a Twitter chat. And it was the Bitcoin Cash guy talking to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And he said like the minimum transaction on Bitcoin, and it was like, I remember being like, whoa, dude, that's a lot. But I don't think that means like to transfer it. I'm not sure what they mean by like minimum transaction. Maybe like to yeah, because you can buy like tiny amounts.
Yeah, maybe to withdraw. Like I know for sometimes when you withdraw or deposit things, there's a minimum deposit sometimes.
Yeah, there is. And that can be actually really annoying. Like,
yeah, it can be.
Because especially like for profit taking, like if you have smaller amounts, like on crypto.com is where I've run into this. Like if I want one Neo, like I can only buy one Neo. So it's like $100 for that, say, and I can only either buy or sell the whole thing.
The whole thing?
Well, yeah, that's like the worst example. But yeah, like for some reason, Neo, like you can only either do one, like one is the minimum, and it's like $100 currency.
It's not divisible?
So no, and I can't, and it's not after the fact. It's at least on like that exchange. I don't know if that's across the board, but that means I can't like buy the $100 and take any profit without just selling all of it. So it's like
that seems dumb.
Yeah, it's not that many that have that issue, and I don't know if it's like on that exchange or everywhere with Neo. Or was it Nano? It was Neo or Nano, one of those two.
I wonder.
I wonder how many people lost money on Dogecoin, like actually lost money. Like I wonder,
like bought in later and then.
Yeah. That's what I'm curious about. People were worried. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, like it's just gonna flow into all the other currencies, really.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much.
No one's gonna like quit because of that, because they saw like all the money that other people made and they saw how close they were.
It's gonna give everyone the bug.
Yeah, it's just like the lottery or something.
Yeah, the thing is like this market is just so unpredictable.
In a way though, that's like it is that predictable because of that. If you look at like seasoned crypto people, they're like, yeah, of course it's crashing like this. Like, what do you mean?
No, that's normal, right? Like 30% crashes, that's like a standard event in crypto world.
That's like nothing. Like 50% wouldn't even be like weird.
Yeah, you it's like a slight discomfort.
And it's like that's why I say like as long as you're not in a position where like that occurs and like you have to sell it for whatever reason, like there's no reason you should be taking losses. You know?
Yeah, unless like I think like you figure out a coin's bullshit, or sometimes it's okay to take losses if it's evening out your gains and you don't want to pay taxes or something, so you average out the loss and the gain cost or whatever.
I really hate like dealing with that logical issue. You know, like when do you like, this is why stop losses are probably so important. Like when do you call it? Because like, yeah, I could get my money back on this, but like if I just take the loss now, I could hopefully make more there. And it's like, then that's just constant doubt for yourself.
No, it's not. It's not, you're not thinking future of taking a loss. It's like, I already have a loss here and I'm going to sell this gain. So, and I want no tax implication from selling the gain.
Oh, I see. So you're like recovering a loss essentially.
Yeah. It's like the loss is basically recovered through taxes.
Well, yeah, because that's not a gain. So why would it be taxed? Right.
Right. It's not. And it's, you're actually getting that money back because money that you would have been taxed won't be taxed anymore because of that loss.
Well, but what if you didn't take the loss. You know what I mean? Like you did take the loss, so didn't you get taxed like essentially by taking the loss?
If you don't take the loss, then you're going to get taxed on your gains, and then that loss can either remain a loss or not be a loss in the future.
Oh, you're saying if you can just predict like the market going up?
No, I'm just saying like if you took a loss.
Well, you saved taxes, but you took a loss. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but you sometimes you don't have control whether you take a loss or not. Sometimes you just take a loss, and so you're basically treating a loss like it's not a bad thing. You're treating a loss like, you know, it's not even a loss necessarily.
Right. I understand, but like, do you see what I'm saying? Like you're taxed in one way or another. Right? Like taxman always collects. Because like you either have to take a loss, so you lost the money there, or you didn't take the loss, so you lost the money by paying the tax.
Maybe, but like, so say you're like, you took a loss on it, and if you think it's going to go up, then okay, maybe don't take the loss, stay invested, and then it'll go up. But if you think, all right, maybe it won't go up, I'm not even sure about this company, I don't have that much confidence in anymore, then it's probably better to take the loss and even out the tax implications.
Yeah, well, and that's like okay, yeah, that's touching on what I was gonna say is like it's obviously you can't predict this, but it's a tough call to like take that loss because like you think you can make the money back better over here, because like in my head like with a simple outlook, if you just don't take that loss, you didn't lose money, but then you're like losing opportunity costs, really.
Yeah, I mean, just what I've noticed in my portfolio, my buy and holds, like some of the holds won't actually perform that well, and then some of the holds perform extremely well. So
Right.
it's so usually I'm not taking like that much losses, but any gains I get, like I can cancel out with whatever, because usually I mean, a lot of things that are losses, like I typically maybe won't want it anymore. Maybe they're losing for a reason, right? So I don't know.
Well, that's the whole game, right? Like, and that's why like initially I sold a bunch of shit for the same price I got it for no reason, is because I like started to doubt that it was gonna perform. And that's why like you're on the other end of the spectrum. I'm like impatient and impulsive. Like I have to like battle like being impatient and like doing irrational things. Whereas, like, you maybe are the opposite of that. Is like you should maybe like be more active and make more decisions. Like maybe like you could be that like you're doing exactly the right thing, but we're definitely opposite ends on that.
Yeah, no,
I have to do whatever I can to like not make the mistake of like prematurely getting rid of them.
yeah. No, I mean, the thing is like I'm only going to be selling anything like 5 years from now.
Even like portions, like, so like if something goes up by like 100%, you don't want your investment back just in case it goes down?
Nope. Because I don't know if it's going to go down or go up more.
Yeah, but you do know that if you get your investment back, you didn't lose money.
You can what?
You do know if you got your investment back, you didn't lose money.
Yeah, but you could have lost money by not keeping it in.
That's not losing money.
Yeah, it is. It's I mean, it's like,
it's not losing money though. You're like,
it basically is losing money.
Not as like, opposed to losing, not as opposed to if I put $100 in and I get back.
I would
50.
say I basically lost like $15,000 because I didn't hold all my Doge.
But that's like, what if it crashes down to a penny tomorrow?
I mean,
that's like the common like logical. Like,
it's irrelevant because I mean, I'm just saying at this point, I could have sold all of it or not, like whatever. But at this point, I basically lost $15,000.
Okay, so like that's totally not a valid way to think about it though, because like how much did people lose by not selling it and then the price going down exactly the same proportion, like, or whatever, like
Yeah, and they would have basically lost whatever it was. But they also didn't necessarily lose it if they didn't sell.
Well, right, and that's why like you can't predict the future. So that's why, because you can't predict the future, like always take money now over money later. And I'm not saying you sell all of it. That's why I like the idea of like taking a portion like at set like intervals of price or whatever, because like you're keeping an investment there to grow, but you're also covering like your initial investment. So like
not really like
back the money you put into everything and you still have money on those things, like you're in great shape.
But what you're going for is you're going for like the interest, like what's that called when the interest builds on itself?
Compounding interest.
Yeah, you're going for compounding interest. So if you're constantly like taking out of there,
you're neglecting the fact the money that you take also grows on a different asset. So like it's not like you're removing it from the system.
Well, it depends, right? It depends what you're doing with it. If you're moving it to Tether, then you're taking it out of the system. It's not really going to grow on it.
Taking profits, I guess that's actually a big distinction. I mean, like you're taking that amount of money and reinvesting it somewhere else, like is the idea. So I guess I shouldn't like just say taking profits, because that would be like cashing out that amount of money. But like, let's say I have $100 on Ethereum and Ethereum goes up by $20 to 120. I take that 20 and put it on Bitcoin.
So, so like this kind of goes back to the rule breaker, like investing strategy for stocks, which may not apply to coins. But I'm going to apply it like that's kind of what I'm doing is I'm applying the same thought process to coins. And the idea is that winners keep on winning. So when a stock does really well, those stocks tend to keep doing like really well. So if you took your money out and put it in a stock that doesn't do as well, or maybe a stock that you want to do better, well,
then you made a bad trade. But what if you take it out and you put it in an equally good stock that is supposed to do just as well and has been? You know what I mean? Like you're just talking about like you took an inferior trade, like you made an inferior trade. But the idea is like Tesla stock.
The thing is,
on a Tesla equivalent that's not Tesla, so you're like hedging your bets in a way, I guess. Like, is the concept. So like, yeah, you don't want to take your money and put it on like an underperforming asset when you have it on.
But you don't know that. You don't know that when you put it on. You always think you're going to make money when you put money on something, right?
Oh no, you always assume you're going to lose the amount of money you put on it. That's like the responsible way to invest it anyway.
But then why would you put money on it if you assume you're going to lose it?
You don't assume you're going to lose it. You have to assume that's a possibility. Right?
Sure. So, I mean,
like you should never invest in you're not.
What we all assume as in like the definition of investing is a reasonable expectation of return on investment.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I use the word to define the word.
But the number one standard is like never invest something you're not willing to lose, right?
No, for sure. I mean, I'd say that depends on risk. Like for riskier things, yes. But for non-risky, I think there's less risky investments that you do invest because you don't want to lose money. Like that's why you invest, because you don't.
I agree. But the sentiment, like, and this goes for the stock market, or like every financial advisor ever will agree with you, like on this, is that I lost my train of thought. What were we just talking about?
Losing money. I can't remember exactly. But basically,
God damn it.
I think the crux of our disagreement was I'm saying that when a stock goes up high in percentage,
right,
moving that percentage to another thing that you think is going to go high in percentage is not the best technique in my mind, because I think this thing that goes high in percentage is proving itself and it's going to keep going higher in percentage. And if you take money out of there, you're just taking away from a good thing and adding to something that may or may not be a good thing because you haven't seen results out of it yet. If you've seen results out of that thing, then
but you would not do something you haven't. And that's what I was trying to say. Like you're making like a distinction between like good and bad assets here. I'm saying like you have to consider them equal. So like your Tesla stock goes up by whatever, and you want to put that on like whatever is in your mind equivalent to Tesla. You're not trying to like put it on a worse choice. And there's no better. If there is no equivalent, like you would probably just want to leave it on Tesla. But because like we don't know where the prices are going to go on these things, you're doing safe options when you do this, or unless you like decide to take the risk. But like you're not going to take like these profits and put it on something you think is going to perform worse, because why would you do that? You know?
Yeah.
But since you can't predict the future, having it on two different winners is much safer than having it on one. You know?
I agree. No, I think it's good to be diversified. But
yeah, like that's exactly it.
I'm just saying, if one of those winners went up like 100 or 200%, I wouldn't sell it to move it to another winner. Because in my mind, that 200% gain is making that winner the best winner and more worth investing in the first place.
But that's false logic for like investing. Like that's why like every stock trader ever takes profits on the way up, is because like they want to make money.
Well, that's the difference between trading and long-term investing, I'd say, because like trading is all about taking profits, buying low, selling high, and then investing is all about the
just but like you can invest and hold and still do this. Like they're not mutually exclusive. Like if you say like, what
it
if
seems like it is though, because investing, you're typically putting more in like all the time, but with trading, it seems like you're taking it out little by little, or you're taking out and putting in, but you're taking out maybe a little more than you're putting in, because trading, it's more like you're feeding off of it.
Like, I think you're right traditionally with stocks, but with currencies, like my logic anyways, like I'm not ever taking it out of the system. So like I may make good or bad decisions on where to put it, but that's because like I'm flawed, you know, because like we can agree like having diversification is safer, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you don't, like, you can say now, like, yeah, that stock did awesome, but like you didn't know that. So like putting it all on one is just not safe. So, but like what I should say is like sheltering your gains. Does that make you feel like it's a good concept? Because you're sheltering your gains as much as like if you don't take the money off of Dogecoin, it'll compound and grow by that much more. If it goes down, you lose that much less because you took the money off of it. So if it goes up to 2,000 and you take 1,000.
No, but so down, if you take this situation and you put it on Dogecoin, if I took like 150 here, 300 there.
Well, simple numbers. So let's say you have $100 on Dogecoin and it goes up by $20 and you take that $20 and then like, you know what I mean? Like, let's just use like whole numbers. So like,
no, but I'm just talking about in reality, like what actually happened. So I bought like
you're using like the one like completely like illogically performing thing to like compare to like the whole asset class.
I know. Yeah, that's
like, yeah, everyone but just like I wanted to get like a bunch of currencies and didn't, and then they went to super high prices. So if I just did, then I would be rich.
But I think Dogecoin kind of represents the psychology of some aspect of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it represents the lack of psychology, right?
Well, like, I mean, whatever, right? It's still psychology.
Like, yeah, exactly. You're like representing like the irrationality of it, but that's not a concrete argument. Like, yeah, it's a perfect representation of how unpredictable it all it is.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the mentality of, should I sell now or should I hold? And what's the like benefits of doing one or the other? So like, I'm just saying with 40,000 Dogecoin, I was selling on my way to 40 cents. And I think I made like probably like maybe $1,000. But if I held all of that, I would have made $15,000. And the losses, if I held everything, would have been
you can't say you would have made as much because you're now this argument means that you're going to be unhappy with every single time that you have ever sold any asset because you could have made more because you cannot sell the top of it and no one can. Right. So that's why you take small amounts. It's like dollar cost averaging with.
I mean, yeah, no. It kind of.
So you made $15,000, but then what happened? Like to that because you didn't take any. So you had as much money as compounded up is going to compound down, you know?
Right. No, that makes
So I
sense
think
because
you're
like the
thinking
logic going up kind of makes,
like
but I don't know. I feel like
energy
I feel
cannot
like
be
it would have
created
been
or destroyed.
easier.
How about that? Wait, energy cannot be created or destroyed.
I
Does
feel
that
like
work?
it would have been easier though to hold and sell when it hit like 10 or 20,000 than
Why?
because
You would have said no,
I
let go up
wasn't,
even.
huh?
You would have just said no. Why sell now? Because it's just going to go even higher, and then you would
Well,
have made
no,
money.
because Dogecoin, the goal of Dogecoin, the goal has always been kind of $1. And once you get to that 40 cent, 25 cent mark, like that's kind of a comfortable place to, like you could see the whales doing it right now. They're selling off like, half their stake right now.
Yeah, you can definitely see the whole numbers, like logical numbers do occur for sure.
So,
Like
I mean, I kind of feel I would have done that. I guess you never know. Like my logic may have been hold the whole way through, but I don't know.
Well,
I just like,
okay, how would you have done that? How would you in real time have been like, oh, this is it. It's at the highest value, time to sell. Like, how would you have done that?
no, it's not
You would have made this much if you sold at that point.
I would have made because it was 1 cent, right? So
Yeah.
whatever I put in, like any time within the past week would have been fantastic gains if I held all of it.
Yeah, but like then
No matter how much I lost between 40 and 25, like it's still
that's what I was thinking. Like you're using Dogecoin at like the point of like unprecedented growth to like make a comparison to like the real market. Like
wait, what?
So like look at any asset that went from 0 to 1,000 in one day. Like obviously, it seems like you made a mistake if you sold any of it before that.
Yeah.
But like look at like every other currency. Like
I mean, I'm not super like kicking myself in the butt already or anything. Huh?
Like if I owned a Bitcoin 5 years ago and I just didn't sell it, like I would have made so much money.
Yeah, definitely.
But I sold it. Or vice versa. Like it's I think you're falling for the fallacy of like that you can sell the top and like nobody can. So why don't you want to sell like it might be the top, 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 and you got some, and then there's the top.
Well, the thing is, you're thinking about like you're talking about selling, and I'm talking about holding because the top. I mean, for cryptocurrency, I don't think it's going to be in my lifetime when we see the top.
What's the point then?
To holding cryptocurrency?
Sit there and have a useless thing for your entire life until you die and say it's really valuable though.
No, yeah. Well, it's gonna the value is gonna increase, and then I can trade it for like real life things, right?
When are you gonna do that? At what price and when is that?
When so I have a 5-year mark when the first like unloading will be.
like just this week?
5-year mark from like
5-year mark. I didn't hear. I thought you said 4-year mark, like the halving thing.
No, around 5 years from February 2021.
I think that's a good way to do it. And by the way, that's profit taking, is to have like a time like you're going to take some in 5 years and then 5 years after that and then 5 years after that. That's totally a good and the same strategy actually.
Yeah. So whenever I think that's my exit strategy. It's like a 5-year dollar cost average.
That's totally valid. But what's not valid is like instead of doing that, waiting 15 years because you're going to make more. That's not valid. And that's like the same logic.
Well, I don't know. I think
instead of doing it every 5 years, why don't you wait 20 years and you're going to have way more money?
I think 15 years would make sense for a 5-year-old.
Nothing makes sense to a fucking 5-year-old. No, but really,
no, 15-year time horizon is pretty big for an investment, though. Like maybe 10-year, well, see,
but really,
crypto isn't the type of thing you retire. It's not reliable retirement money.
Well, yeah, but this is just about the logic, though. Like if you're going to take money every 5 years, but it's an appreciating asset, then why don't you just, instead of doing that, just skip that, take the money at 15 years, and you're going to get way more.
Because I don't think I'm going to be diversified enough. Like, if I'm all in crypto,
if you don't do that, that's what you're saying.
What's that?
Because you might lose the money if you don't do that every 5 years. That's what you're saying. Because it might go down. So you got.
Yeah. It's highly volatile, right? I mean, it may become less so in 5 years, but it's still
It
like,
could be 5 minutes and the logic is actually the same. That's like what's cool about the technical analysis is it could be 5 seconds or 5 minutes or 5 years, but the logic's still sound. Like you need like an interval, and you're not the false logic that like we fall into is like that because this 5 years is going to be profitable, that I should wait, and 10 years is going to be so much more profitable, it'll be worth it. It's like people that win the lottery that don't cash out immediately, because by far the smartest thing to do is take the 40% on the spot, like money now over money later, because you can invest that 40% and start growing on that. So
oh yeah, for sure.
so
Like investing is the way to go.
And you don't get to see those results either, so it's hard to say, because like you could if you're organized, but like all these like profits I take are growing somewhere else. You just like lose track. I just the way I see it is like you're protecting the money you made from being lost.
But if you have cryptocurrency, it can get lost anyway.
What?
If you keep it all in cryptocurrency, it could all like get lost anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, the US dollar could also go to zero tomorrow.
Yeah, but cryptocurrency is a lot more, I mean, I think it's less so every day, but it's like the shakiest market that we have right now, I guess.
I agree. And altcoins, like the low cap ones, are totally like can disappear, like absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why like they also show like the most explosive gains if you should be lucky. It all balances out. Like that's why like I mean,
yeah.
Like I try not to fall for the logic of like holding it for like a higher gain, because that's just like a slippery slope for me.
I don't know, like, so from stocks, I've just seen how holding it makes such a big difference in the long run, because I don't know, it's that effect of compounding interest, like holding it and not taking away from it, but even adding to it throughout that hold.
You're still compounding the interest though, because you're like, remember, like for the sake of like this discussion, you have to consider these are two equal assets. So like you're still compounding that interest on the other asset. Like yes, to a lesser degree, but also hedging against loss. So that's why like yes, you are on paper, your numbers are not as high, but you also lost less. So like stock, that's why like people in stocks do this all the time constantly, because it's like it's like proven to be a much better model to like take profits on the way up or down or both, as opposed to like trying to do the impossible is basically your two choices.
Wait, what's doing the impossible?
Trying to sell the top of a market. You're not, by the way. You're doing it every 5 years.
No. The thing is, I think we're having issues with time scales here, because I mean, sure, I mean, I think selling on the way up and taking profits, like, so when you say selling on the way up, is that taking cash out or reinvesting? I
mean reinvesting.
Okay. So
yeah. Because if you're taking cash out, obviously, like I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And like, because of like for the conversation, you have to consider that like you have two things that are just as appealing, because like you should never take it off of like a more appealing option because this one might do well. Like you were saying about stuff. Like, yeah, that's really dumb. But if you
that's what's hard to know though. So in like stocks and crypto, well, more so in cryptocurrency, because I don't know, it's kind of just like a Wild West space, but it's harder to know the actual merits of a cryptocurrency based from just, reading about it. But I think the price and its performance will show a lot more over the long term, shows a lot more merit over, a description of it. Yeah.
The descriptions are like, they can be good or bad, but they're never at all in depth enough for a currency to like give you the actual knowledge you need to like make that call.
Yeah, definitely. Lots of questions after.
Have like coding understanding and stuff that most people don't, and I don't. But really, it's like it does come down to your gut. Like you can do the analysis and you can read all the things, but like you still have to make a decision.
Yeah.
And like you're never going to do it with math. Like ultimately, you can.
Yeah, it's funny how emotional investing or trading, I've seen both, at least, like both can be.
Yeah. Yeah, like Dogecoin, like I got it because I was like, holy fuck, is it really gonna go up by that much? Dude, oh my god, it's gonna keep going. This is stupid.
Yeah. Oh
Like there was
man.
definitely no math to back it, and like arguably like not a smart trade.
I remember the first pop off it had, I was freaking out. It was like $150 turning at $800, and I was like, oh shit, dude.
Yeah, I had like $50 like down low, and it's funny because I have multiple conversations with people like where like Dogecoin is the subject, and I say something along the lines of like, no, it makes absolutely no sense, but like if you believe in cryptocurrency, you have to hold some Dogecoin. Like I have like multiple conversations, and then I like right like after one of them, I sold all my Dogecoin, which was like $50, but I just like I was like, Dogecoin's just going to be Dogecoin, and I think this one like looks appealing, so I'm going to take that Doge and put it here.
Uh-huh.
And like, down the line, like of course it did this. That's why like most of my game is actually just avoiding like frustrations, and that like so far like that works for me because like causing yourself to be irrational is like my worst enemy. You know.
Yeah.
So if I like first of all if it takes some profit on the way up or whatever, like some profit like at safe intervals, then if it crashes, I feel good.
Yeah.
And if I only take some profit, then if it goes up, I still feel good. You know.
Yeah, it's all mental. Like if you can just do it in a mentally good state where you're not freaking out and panic selling, do that.
Yeah. And also like there are natural things that like annoy people more or less. And like one of the things I fucking hate is like either one, like selling it and seeing the price go the wrong way or vice versa.
Yeah.
So like most of what I work to avoid, you know.
For sure.
Because you really quickly do realize that like that price is going to change every time you make a decision. Like,
well, shit. Let's hope. We just got some. We're like I got a little more Bitcoin today. You bought back in, so let's hope it goes in the right direction tomorrow.
Yeah, I still think like I haven't looked back because it would be frustrating. But in the beginning of like when I first got in, it was like it seems like maybe you should just have all your money on fucking Ethereum. And then I ended up like using a lot of my Ethereum, and I don't even have that much now, and it's like performing the best for sure.
Yeah, a lot of my I split up a lot of like the ERC stuff. Like I kind of justified that as kind of being on the Ethereum side too. Like Uniswap, I consider like kind of commingling with Ethereum. So
yeah, I mean, if that's like why my gut or instinct says like if just do Ethereum because like everything besides like Bitcoin is like not only like relying on Ethereum but like using it. So even like the side chains or like other main chains, like they're just like taking the RC and like converting it and then converting it back because that's what people want to use and that's what like all the dApps use, you know?
yeah, I mean, that's kind of weird. I don't like the whole ERC stuff. I mean, I don't mind it, but I don't know, all this token stuff kind of throws like, I mean, I like the tokens, but it's just like the ERC, BEP, it's all these different things, and it's just like annoying.
Yeah. Well, and I don't quite understand the distinction of like ERC20 versus like
ERC2.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah.
No, there's 20 and then there's 2. There's
like why? What is the difference?
Slightly different protocols, I think. Like you can't send an ERC20 to an ERC2, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming, but I mean, I know ERC20 are like I think less tradable, or like less like usable across platforms. Because I know like so Coinbase, you shouldn't buy your band on Coinbase because you don't get like you get like ERC20 banned, you don't get banned.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which like may probably not matter to you unless you want to transfer it off Coinbase because then you have to deal with like the ERC20 transfer.
I already got it on I think I got it on Hotbit, so
yeah, I just got lucky and like got it on crypto and then like read that after, but I was like, oh cool.
Oh shit.
I mean, I don't know if that would really affect you and I, but like I figured like why not get the real one.
Right. I don't know. I think it's something OCD. I want to get the real one. I don't want to get some fucking BEP20 token. Fuck. Wrap
do you
token.
use Binance?
Huh?
Do you use Binance?
I used Trust Wallet for a minute.
No, Binance. Do you use the Binance platform?
No, but
Okay.
Trust Wallet is like Binance's app, I think, or something weird like that.
Can you link Trust Wallet to like Coinbase and shit stuff?
I don't know if it like links, but you could send, the coins from wallet to wallet.
Okay, that's why I like some of them, and like I haven't explored too many, but like the DeFi wallet for crypto.com, you can link other wallets and like see them like on that.
Oh, that's
like,
pretty legit. Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. So you can have all of your wallets like on that one app, and like they're still like they're individually controlled, but like you can see them on there and like transfer to and from them like on one thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a little weird to figure out, and that's like what's holding, I think, cryptocurrencies back at this point is like no fucking average Joe is going to get on and figure out the recovery phrases and like API keys and shit for themselves. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it took me about like 3 or 4 days to figure out how to get all the coins on my wallet.
Yeah, and once you do it, you're like, oh, okay, like I get like how this is working, but
I should have used Hopbit the whole time.
It's got like one step though that's too like I think difficult and just involved for like most people.
Yeah, it's just confusing because there's a ton of coins out there too, and I don't know, there's a bunch of scammy stuff out there too that you need to look out for.
Yeah, and I'm wondering like I know coins do go to zero, but like how many, like when and why? Because I'm actually a lot more interested in like how many coins failed than how many are succeeding. Like that's a lot more useful to me.
Well, I heard it was 90%.
And is that like overall or since 2017? Because I know like most of them have failed since 2017.
Yeah, it must be since 2017 or something like that.
But I don't know if that means failed like they're gone or if they just like aren't at the value they were like at all.
I think 90% failed as in like zero, like nada.
So like are there days that like I go on like gate.io and I just don't see a currency? It's just gone. Like I guess that must occur.
That's a good question. I wonder what that looks like.
Yeah, no one announces it. They're not going to be like, hey, this one's gone, just to let you know.
If anyone has been through a coin disappearing, let us know.
Yeah, like from price going to zero, not like a scam.
Yeah, not a scam, but like, a legit failure.
Yeah, because I actually have been told by more than one person that they do not fail. They just don't grow. And that's definitely not true. But I have not seen any fail personally, but I'm not like watching I'm not watching like the lowest ones. That's why I bought that one. I was like, this is the lowest price on this exchange. So if one's going to fail, it's probably this one. I'll buy it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Top 5 cryptocurrency failures of all time. Crease. Bad publicity, security issues, unethical behavior, unclear progression paths.
Why?
What? Why does it say Dogecoin? Dogecoin is one of the cryptocurrencies that started without much pump nor vigor. In fact, it appears that the founder did not expect to garner much steam. The cryptocurrency nevertheless became quite popular due to the kind of charitable approach it had taken. Within no time, the cryptocurrency had a large user base based on its own exchange was established. The success was unfortunately short-lived. Its founder took an unexpected turn and shut down the exchange. After the collapse of the exchange and disappearance of funds, the story of Dogecoin came to an end. Wow, this thing is outdated.
When was this written and is it real?
What the fuck?
This is like actually just fake, like, or is that actually accurate?
No, I think this is a thing. Like what was that exchange that got hacked?
I don't remember the name.
The only place where you could buy Bitcoin originally.
Wasn't it just like Bitcoin exchange or whatever?
It was some random fucking exchange, dude. It was like Paint Exchange or something.
Man, how did like the first place that sold Bitcoin convince anyone to buy it? Like, hey guys, I promise, this is gonna be worth money.
I heard one of the first purchases was like pizza, and this dude had to like call around and like find someone to deliver him pizza and take Bitcoin for it. And it was like a tour. He like paid him twice as much.
How many Bitcoin it was?
It was like millions of dollars worth at this point, but something like that.
It was 10,000 Bitcoin.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Because he just couldn't. It's like a good example. Like he couldn't use it anywhere, so it had no value.
But if he just hodled it, man.
Yeah. But he was hungry, Like
when you're hungry, shit.
Yeah, you should have fucking eaten that money.
Best delivery ever for the pizza guy.
Right? Yeah, except he probably went like got a condom for it or something.
Right. Shit.
What if like someone out there like has like in that sum like that 10,000 Bitcoin because it's like staying together?
Man, that must be such a cool feeling.
Yeah, I want to have stuff one day.
Yeah.
Be cool. I remember when I made some money on cryptocurrency that one time. Like it all fucking came crashing to the ground. I heard a good saying today that
hey, it's going up more. That's good.
What is money?
Yeah, the stock or the cryptos.
Oh, good. They've been like really like I feel like they are definitely gonna bounce back and then some, because like they've had these really brief pumps where like they all jump pretty high, like pretty significantly, and then just go back down. Mm-hmm. But they're like really, really short term. Fucking crazy, actually. Like it's like amazing to me that like the entire list of like popular currencies can fluctuate together like that. It's pretty remarkable.
I feel like part of it, I'm like very suspicious of this inflation stuff though. Like, are we measuring cryptocurrency going up or the dollar just going down?
Yeah, right. Well, see, that's the thing is like there's not really anyone directly benefiting from like fudging that, So I do tend to trust it more than like statistics about like the national treasury or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you trust the Bitcoin price more.
Yeah, because like there's not any like, yeah, I do, because
it's all hard set in stone code, there's no shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, and there's no one trying to like manipulate it like with the power to anyway. Yeah. That's also why it needs to go up in price for its own safety, is like it's not actually valuable enough for like the right person like not to be able to influence the price, Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of money, but you could still do it for sure.
Some people are saying that's what's happening now. There's like some market manipulation happening. So trying to drop the price of Bitcoin so more institutions can buy it at a better price or something. I don't know.
I would believe that, except like personally, I think like every institution that said they're going to start buying Bitcoin probably already had it.
Yeah, they're probably buying in as we speak.
Yeah, they probably said that once they had the amount they wanted because they knew a bunch of people would start buying it. Because like why would you come out and say like, hey, we're gonna like buy this really low value asset so everyone else should jump on board?
No, I think that is kind of like what's gonna happen is like you'll get a progression though, and like it's kind of like what do you call it when everyone does it?
Butterfly effect?
Yeah, butterfly effect or some shit.
Ashton Kutcher flaps his wings on the other side of the world.
Start a fucking tornado, man. Right?
Yeah. Dick.
All right, brother. Well, this was a good podcast. I'm just gonna we'll catch up later. We'll see how our portfolios are doing and maybe get a guest on. Yeah. Let's like plan a topic for next time so I can think about it a little. Fuck yeah, dude. We'll go topic by topic. Yeah. All right. Peace ants out. Later.